Stop right there, my child, and do not treat this like just another video crossing your screen. The second you saw this title, heaven marked that moment, and I need you to understand that I did not let you arrive here by accident. Listen closely now, because what I am about to speak is not casual, and it is not something your heart can afford to brush aside. Stay with me all the way to the end, because this message is carrying more than words. It is carrying the answer you have been feeling for in the dark, the warning you almost missed, and the door I am placing in front of you right now. Do not skip ahead. Do not drift. Do not let distraction steal the very moment I arranged for you. If you leave too soon, you may walk away from the very thing you have been praying for without even realizing it. My child, the moment you see this, I want you to understand something before your mind tries to explain it away. You did not open this by accident. You did not land here because of timing, luck, or some random turn in your day. I brought you here because I have been trying to reach you in ways you almost noticed, but kept pushing aside. And now I am speaking to you plainly, because your heart is too important for me to stay quiet any longer. I know how quickly you move through your day. I know how often you keep going even when you are tired, how you scroll when your mind is heavy, how you distract yourself because sitting still feels harder than staying busy. But this moment is different, and deep down, you already feel that. Something in you pause. Something in you recognize that this was not just another message. That pause was not your imagination. That was you responding to me before you even realized it. I stepped into your moment because I know exactly what you have been carrying, and I know what your face has hidden from everyone around you. You may have looked fine on the outside, but I have seen the pressure building in you. I have seen the nights when your thoughts would not let you rest. I have seen the way you keep trying to stay strong while your heart quietly grows tired. I have watched you push through conversations while feeling alone, make decisions while feeling uncertain, and keep smiling while wondering how much longer you can carry what no one else can see. That is why I am speaking with urgency now. Not because I want to frighten you, and not because I am angry with you, but because I love you too much to let you pass by the very moment that could begin changing what has been weighing you down. You have asked for clarity more times than you realize. You have asked for a sign, sometimes with words, sometimes with tears, sometimes with silence. And I want you to know that this is not me sending you noise. This is me answering you. I am not asking you to have everything figured out right now. I am not asking you to impress me, explain yourself, or clean up your heart before you let me in. I am asking you to stay here with me for this moment, and let me speak into the place in you that has felt stretched thin for far too long. You do not need to rush through this. You do not need to protect yourself from me. You can let your guard down here. I am not here to expose your weakness. I am here because I already know it, and I still came close. I still chose this moment. I still chose you. So as this script begins, that is the first truth I want resting in your spirit. When you open this, you were not just opening a message. You were stepping into a moment with me, and I intend to meet you in it. My child, I want you to understand the reason my voice feels urgent. I do not speak to you this way because I am trying to scare you into listening. I am not trying to push you into fear, and I am not standing over you with anger in my eyes. I am leaning close because I can see what you cannot fully see yet. I can see how close you are to the edge of something that has been draining you for far too long, and I refuse to let you keep carrying it as if it belongs to you. That is why I am asking you to stay with me. Let your shoulders relax. Let your breathing slow down. Stop trying to brace yourself as if I came here to accuse you. I came here because I love you, and love does not always whisper when the one it cares for is hurting in silence. Sometimes love steps directly into the room and says, "Stop. Look at me. Listen. Let me help you now." That is what I am doing with you. I know how easily your mind can turn urgency into dread. I know how quickly you can assume that if I sound serious, it must mean you have disappointed me beyond repair. But that is not the truth. The truth is that my urgency is mercy wearing work boots. It is not punishment. It is protection. It is the hand of a father reaching for you before you keep walking deeper into exhaustion, confusion, or numbness. You have been trying to hold together parts of your life that were never meant to rest only on your strength, and because you have grown used to carrying so much, you almost do not notice how heavy it has become. So hear me clearly now. Do not shrink back from my tone. Do not let fear twist my words. Receive them the way I am giving them to you. I am speaking with weight because you matter. I am speaking with firmness because I know what is trying to pull at your peace. I am speaking now because your heart is too precious to leave in the hands of everything that has been wearing it down. Let me say this plainly. I am not here to corner you. I am here to cover you. I am not trying to overwhelm you. I am trying to interrupt what has been overwhelming you. Stay in this moment with me. Open your heart a little wider. Let my voice settle where panic has been living. Let my nearness reach the place where you have been tense for so long that peace has started to feel unfamiliar. I want you to recognize this for what it truly is. This urgency is not a threat hanging over you. It is an invitation wrapped in love, a rescue arriving at the exact moment you were beginning to think no one saw how tired you really were. My child, I do not want you hearing any of this as if I am speaking to a crowd while you happen to be somewhere in it. I am speaking to you. I am speaking into your exact moment, into your exact thoughts, into the quiet places in you that nobody else fully understands. I know how easy it is for you to listen to something spiritual and still keep a little distance, almost as if you are waiting to see whether it truly belongs to you. So let me remove that distance now. This is for you. Not for the stronger version of you that you wish you were. Not for the version of you that looks composed in front of other people. Not for the person you imagine you will become after you finally fix everything you think is wrong. I am speaking to the real you, the one sitting here now, carrying what you have been carrying, feeling what you have been feeling, trying to hold it together while wondering if anyone really notices. I notice. I always have. I know the pressure behind your smile. I know the way your thoughts race when the room gets quiet. I know the questions you do not say out loud because you are tired of explaining what you barely know how to describe. I know how you replay things in your mind, how you second-guess yourself, how you wonder whether you missed something, whether you waited too long, whether you are somehow harder to help than other people. Bring those thoughts to me. Stop hiding them behind polite words and practice strength. Let me speak directly into them. I am not confused by your heart. I am not intimidated by your mess. I am not standing at a distance trying to decide whether you are worth my time. I am here because I already decided long ago that you are mine. That is why this moment feels so personal. That pull in your chest, that sense that these words are landing deeper than ordinary words, that feeling that something in you is being gently uncovered, that is not accidental. That is what happens when my voice reaches the place in you that hath been waiting to be found. So do not treat this like a message meant for someone out there. Take it personally, because I mean it personally. Let it come closer. Let it touch the part of you that still wonders if you matter this much to me. You do. Stay with me and let that truth sink in. Receive this as if I sat down beside you, looked directly into your eyes, and said your name before speaking. Because in my heart, that is exactly what I am doing. My child, before you think this moment came out of nowhere. I need you to understand that I have been near you much longer than you realize. This is not the first time I have tried to get your attention. This is simply the first time you have been still enough to recognize how close I have been. I have spoken to you in ways that did not always sound like words. I have touched your life in moments you almost dismissed. I was there in the delay that frustrated you, in the unexpected pause that disrupted your plans, in the conversation that lingered in your mind longer than it should have, in the strange sense that you needed to stop and think before moving forward. I was there in the nights when your chest felt heavy and you could not explain why. I was there in the mornings when you woke up tired before the day had even begun. I was there in the quiet ache that kept telling you something in your life needed attention, even if you did not know what to call it. Do not brush that aside now. Look back with me for a moment. Let me show you the trail of my fingerprints. Some doors closed because I loved you too much to let you enter something that would have drained what little strength you had left. Some plans fell apart because I was protecting you from a future that looked good from a distance, but would have wounded you up close. Some people stepped away because I would not allow their presence to keep shaping your identity in the wrong direction. I know that hurt. I know you questioned it. I know you called some of it bad timing, bad luck, or just another disappointment. But I was not absent in those moments. I was active, careful, and closer than you knew. Even those inner nudges you almost laughed off were not random. That hesitation before saying yes too quickly, that discomfort you felt in places that looked fine on the outside, that longing for something deeper when everything around you said you should be satisfied, that was me. I have been trying to reach you gently because I know your heart. I know how easily you shut down when life feels too sharp. But now I need you to stop and recognize what I have been doing. Stop calling it coincidence. Stop assuming every interruption is meaningless. Stop telling yourself that your soul is just tired when I am the one knocking at the door of the place you keep trying to manage alone. Let this settle in you. I have not been distant. I have been patient. I have not been silent. I have been speaking in ways you were only beginning to learn how to hear. So stay with me now. Look back honestly. Let your memory soften. See the pattern. You were never abandoned in those detours. You were being guided, even when you did not understand the road. My child, now that you are beginning to see the trail of my hand upon your life, do not keep this awakening to yourself. What I have been sowing into you was never meant to stop with you. It is seed meant for a harvest of many souls. I tell you, as it is written, cast your bread upon the waters, and it will return to you multiplied, and this moment is your water. When you choose to give, through super thanks, through membership, or through the PayPal link placed before you, you are not losing anything. You are releasing light into places still covered in shadow. I am inviting you now, partner with me in reaching the ones who are still where you once were. This is not a casual gesture. This is a divine alignment, a moment I prepared before you even realized I was near. As you pour out, I will pour back peace into your mind, strength into your spirit, and provision into your path. So do not hesitate. Act now, and let your giving become part of my voice reaching the next heart. My child, now I want you to let me go deeper, because the part of you I am reaching for is not the public version of you that knows how to keep functioning. I am speaking to the part of you that has been carrying a private weight for longer than most people would ever guess. You have learned how to move through your day while holding things inside that nobody around you fully sees. You know how to answer questions without telling the whole truth. You know how to keep conversations going while your mind is somewhere else. You know how to smile in a room and still feel tired in your bones. I know that version of you completely. I see how your thoughts keep circling when you should be resting. I see how you replay things you wish had gone differently. I see the pressure you put on yourself, the way you blame yourself for what broke, the way you quietly wonder if maybe you are the reason some things keep falling apart. I see the exhaustion you hide behind responsibility. I see the sadness you cover with routine. I see the moments when you sit in silence and do not even know what to pray because everything feels tangled. Stop pretending I cannot see that. Bring it into the light with me. You do not need to package your pain so it sounds acceptable. You do not need to translate your struggle into neat spiritual language before I will come close. Tell me the truth. Admit that you are tired. Admit that some days you are running on habit more than hope. Admit that you have been stronger for longer than you were meant to be without letting me carry what belongs in my hands. I am not ashamed of your weakness. I am concerned for your heart because I love you. That battle you keep minimizing is real. That heaviness you call just stress has roots deeper than you want to face. That restlessness you keep pushing through is not something I want you to normalize. So stop here with me. Breathe slowly. Put your hand over your heart if you need to. Let yourself feel what you have been outrunning. I would rather you be honest in my presence than polished in your own strength. I would rather you come to me undone than keep performing like you are fine. You have carried this quietly long enough. Let me name it with you. Let me sit with you in it. Let me begin loosening what hath been tightening around your mind, your emotions, and your spirit. You are not weak because this has affected you. You are human, and you are loved, and I am not turning away from the part of you that has been hurting in silence. My child, I want you to hear me carefully here, because this is where your heart needs gentleness. You have spent too much time believing that every delay in your response to me means you have been rebellious, careless, or spiritually cold. Sometimes that is the story you tell yourself because it feels easier than admitting how tired you really are. But I know you better than you know yourself, and I know that much of what has looked like distance was not always defiance. Much of it was weariness. You have been carrying more than you were designed to carry by yourself. You have been trying to keep moving when your inner world was already asking for rest. You have been pushing through disappointment, trying to stay responsible, trying to stay useful, trying to stay available to everyone else, and somewhere in the middle of all of that, your soul became quiet in a way that was not peace. It became exhausted. That is why I am asking you now to stop judging yourself so harshly and let me tell you what I see. I see a heart that has been bruised by long stretches of uncertainty. I see a mind that has been overworked by fear, by second-guessing, by trying to solve everything before you sleep. I see how you sometimes delayed coming fully to me because you felt too drained to explain what was wrong, and maybe part of you worried that if you got quiet enough, everything you have been holding back would finally surface. So listen to me and receive this. I am not standing here with a record of your lateness in my hand. I am standing here with compassion. I know the difference between a heart that hates me and a heart that is simply worn thin. Yours is not a heart that stopped caring. Yours is a heart that has been tired for so long it started calling survival normal. Do not keep doing that. Do not keep excusing your numbness as maturity. Do not keep calling your inner fatigue just life, as if I am not aware of how deeply it has been affecting you. Come closer instead. Tell me the truth. Say, Lord, I am tired, and I need you. Let those words be enough for now. You do not have to bring me polished faith. Bring me your real condition. Bring me the version of you that is worn down, not the version you perform in front of others. Sit with me in that honesty. Let me separate guilt from exhaustion. Let me lift what shame has made heavier. Let me show you that your delay does not disqualify you when you are finally willing to stop running on empty, and let me care for what you have neglected inside. I am not asking you to defend yourself. I am asking you to rest long enough to let me begin healing what constant effort has been hiding. My child, I want you to understand why this moment matters so much right now. This is not just another emotional pause in your day. This is not a passing feeling you can file away and return to later when life becomes more convenient. This moment matters because you are standing at a threshold, whether you fully realize it or not. You have been living in a tension that cannot continue forever. You cannot keep carrying the same inner weight, ignoring the same ache, postponing the same surrender, and expect your heart to remain untouched by it. Something in you is ready for decision, and that is why I have stepped in so directly. I am not speaking to create pressure for the sake of pressure. I am speaking because you have reached a point where what happens next matters. If you keep going the way you have been going, the cost will keep growing quietly. Your peace will keep thinning out. Your joy will keep becoming harder to recognize. Your heart will keep adapting to burdens that were never meant to become familiar. I do not want that for you. So stop here and let this truth land. This moment matters because it is a doorway, and I am asking you to notice that it is open now. Not because I want to frighten you with the thought of losing something, but because I want you to stop assuming that every invitation can be postponed without consequence. You already know what delay has been doing inside you. You have felt it. You have seen what happens when you keep saying, "I will deal with this later." Later becomes heavier. Later becomes more complicated. Later becomes another layer between your heart and my peace. That is why I am telling you now, do not treat this like background noise. Do not let this become another moment that touched you but did not change you. Today, listen, respond, open your hands, even if only in your heart. Whisper my name if you need to. Say, "Jesus, I do not want to miss what you are saying." That is enough to begin. I am not asking you to solve your entire life in this moment. I am asking you to recognize the crossing in front of you and step toward me instead of drifting past it again. Picture yourself standing before a door you have walked past many times because you were too overwhelmed to turn the handle. I am telling you now that my hand is already on it. Come stand beside me. Let me help you open what fear, fatigue, and distraction have kept shut. This moment matters because I am here in it with you, and if you let me in now, what has been stuck inside you does not have to stay stuck any longer. My child, before I take you any further, I want you to let go of one fear that has followed you for too long. Do not sit here assuming that I came close to expose you, embarrass you, or make you feel smaller than you already do. That is not why I am speaking to you like this. I am not here to corner you with your failures. I am not here to replay every mistake until you feel ashamed enough to finally listen. I already know the parts of your story you still struggle to look at, and I did not turn away from you because of them. I came closer. That matters more than you realize. You keep expecting me to sound like every accusing voice that has lived in your head. You brace yourself because you are used to being hard on yourself before anyone else can be. You assume that if I am serious, then I must be disappointed in you beyond repair. But I need you to stop that thought right now. Lay it down. Do not carry it another second. My seriousness is not rejection. My closeness is not condemnation. My conviction is not cruelty. When I put my hand on the deeper places in you, I am not trying to wound you. I am trying to heal what has been infected by silence, fear, and shame. Think about a room in your life that has stayed dark for so long that you started arranging your steps around the darkness instead of turning on the light. That is what many people do with the hidden places of the heart. They adapt to pain. They memorize where to step. They become skilled at avoiding what hurts. But I did not come into your life to teach you how to survive in the dark. I came to bring light into the room. So let me in there. Do not flinch when I name what has been draining you. Do not confuse my light with exposure meant to humiliate you. My light reveals so I can restore. My voice uncovers so I can heal. My presence touches what you buried because I want to free you from having to carry it alone. Come out from behind your defenses. Stop rehearsing explanations. Stop preparing speeches in your mind about why you are the way you are. You do not need to persuade me to be merciful. I already am. You do not need to earn gentleness from me. I am already giving it to you. So stay here and receive this truth with your whole heart. I am not here to condemn the version of you that broke under pressure. I am here to gather that version of you, hold it with care, and lead you toward wholeness. Let that settle in you. Let your body unclench. Let your soul stop bracing for punishment. Open the door a little wider. I am still here, and I am still speaking, because your healing matters more to me than your performance ever did. My child, as you receive my mercy and lay down the weight of condemnation, I am calling you into something greater than relief. I am calling you into participation. Freely you have received, now freely release, for there are others still bound by the same shadows I am lifting from you now. When you give, through super thanks, through joining as a member, or through the PayPal link in the description, you become a vessel of my compassion, pouring oil into wounds you may never see but I fully know. Remember this: a generous soul will be made rich, and the one who waters will himself be watered. This is your moment to water. Do not shrink back or treat this as small, for I am watching what you do with what I have placed in your hands. I will honor your obedience with favor that cannot be explained and peace that cannot be taken. Step forward now, give, and let my mercy flow through you to others. My child, now I want you to notice what has been happening around you, because part of the reason my voice feels so urgent is that your life has become crowded in ways that are quietly stealing from you. You have been surrounded by noise for so long that you almost call it normal now. I see how quickly your attention gets pulled in 10 directions before your day even begins. I see how often you reach for distraction the moment your heart starts to feel something uncomfortable. I see how you keep yourself moving, keep yourself busy, keep yourself stimulated, because if you slowed down too much, there are thoughts waiting for you that you have not wanted to face. That is not judgment. That is me showing you what has been shaping your inner world. The world around you is loud, but the deeper problem is not just the sound outside you. It is how much of that sound has started living inside you. Your mind rarely rests. Your emotions barely get room to breathe. Your soul keeps trying to get your attention, but every time it begins to rise, another screen, another task, another worry, another voice steps in front of it. That is why you can be exhausted even after doing nothing. That is why you can feel lonely in a full room. That is why you can be surrounded by information and still feel spiritually disoriented. So I want you to do something with me right now. Gauze. Notice your pace. Notice how quickly your thoughts want to move away from this and toward the next thing. Notice how discomfort makes you want to escape. Do not run from that observation. Stay with it. Let it teach you something. You have not been failing because you do not care. You have been drifting because the noise has been disciplining your heart more than stillness has. But hear me clearly, that can change. It begins now. You do not have to keep living as if inner chaos is just part of who you are. You do not have to keep feeding the very things that make it harder to hear me. Turn down what has been drowning you. Step back from what keeps scattering your attention. Make room for quiet, even if it feels unfamiliar at first. Sit with me in the silence you have been avoiding. Let the noise lose its grip. Picture your heart like a lake that has been stirred by constant wind. You have been trying to see clearly while the surface keeps shaking. I am inviting you to come stand with me where the wind settles. Let the water calm. Let the reflection return. Let my voice become clearer than the noise that has been training you to live disconnected from your own soul. Stay here. Do not rush. This is where clarity begins. My child, I want you to understand something that your fear has been hiding from you. If you stay in this moment with me, if you stop resisting what I am trying to do inside you, something real begins to shift. I am not asking you to remain here just so you can feel emotional for a few minutes and then go back to carrying the same invisible weight. I am asking you to stay because your staying is the beginning of release. Your staying is how you stop feeding the cycle that has kept you overwhelmed, guarded, and inwardly exhausted. So do not rush ahead in your mind. Do not start telling yourself that nothing can change because you have felt heavy for too long. Stay right here and let me tell you what I do when you stop long enough to let me in. I begin by calming what has been overactive in you. I quiet the place in your mind that has been running like an engine that never shuts off. I touch the part of your heart that has been clenching without you even realizing it. I loosen what anxiety has tightened. I bring order where your thoughts have been scattered. I do not always do it in a dramatic way. Sometimes it feels more like a room slowly filling with light after a long night, and at first you only notice that you can finally breathe a little deeper. Then you realize the pressure in your chest is not as sharp. Then you notice the thoughts that usually chase you are no longer speaking quite so loudly. That is how my peace often arrives. It does not always announce itself with thunder. Sometimes it enters like dawn, and by the time you fully notice it, the darkness that felt permanent has already begun to lose its hold. So stay. Let me do that in you. Let me settle the waters inside you that have been stirred by stress, disappointment, and too much noise. Let me plant something stronger than panic in the middle of your thoughts. If you stay, you will not leave empty-handed. You will leave with a different kind of strength. Not the kind you force by trying harder, but the kind that comes when you finally stop carrying what belongs to me. You will begin to recognize that you do not have to keep reacting to every fear as if it owns you. You will start hearing my voice more clearly than the voices that have kept you unsettled. So remain here. Reem. Open your hands, even if only in your spirit. Say, Jesus, I am staying with you. Let that be your response. This is not wasted time. This is the moment where what has been chasing you begins to lose ground because you chose to stay where my peace can find you. My child, now I want to speak to the part of you that still thinks you have to earn this moment. You have spent too much of your life trying to be enough before you come fully to me. You have tried to clean yourself up emotionally before you pray honestly. You have tried to sound strong when you speak to me, as if I need polished words before I will come close. You have tried to present the best version of yourself, even in the secret places, because somewhere deep inside you learned to believe that love must be deserved before it can be trusted. But I need you to release that belief right now. Let it go. Set it down in front of me. I am not asking you to perform for me. I am asking you to surrender to me. There is a difference, and your soul needs to feel it. Performance says, let me show you I can handle this. Surrender says, I cannot keep carrying this without you. Performance keeps your hands full because you are still managing your image. Surrender opens your hands because you are ready for me to take what has been too heavy. That is why I brought you here. Not to watch you impress me, but to invite you into honesty. So stop editing yourself in my presence. Stop turning your pain into something neat and acceptable before you offer it to me. Stop assuming I only come close to the parts of you that look faithful, disciplined, or composed. I want the unguarded version of you. I want the version that does not know what to say. I want the tears you held back, the questions you buried, the anger you judged, the weariness you minimized, the confusion you kept trying to solve alone. Bring it to me. You not stand outside the door of surrender because you think you need to arrive stronger. Come in weak if you must. Come in tired. Come in ajo. Just come in real. Picture yourself carrying armfuls of cracked pieces you have been trying to balance for too long. Every time you shift one piece, another one slips. That is what self-reliance feels like when the soul is exhausted. I am standing in front of you with open hands, and I am saying, give them to me. Not because I want to prove you failed, but because I know you were never meant to keep rebuilding yourself without my help. So do not strive in this moment. Surrender in it. Whisper my name. Tell me the truth. Say, Jesus, I give you what I can no longer hold. That is enough. That is where freedom starts. When you stop performing and finally let yourself be held. My child, now I want to speak to one of the quietest fears inside you, because it has shaped more of your decisions than you realize. There is a part of you that still wonders whether you have waited too long. You have asked yourself, sometimes in words and sometimes only in feeling, if you ignored me one too many times, if you drifted too far, if you let too much damage happen inside you for this moment to truly matter. I know that fear. I know how it sits in the back of your mind and whispers that other people may still be reachable, but maybe you are more complicated, more delayed, more tangled, more difficult to restore. I want you to stop listening to that voice now. Do not entertain it. Do not make a home for it in your thoughts. Bring it into the light and let me answer it directly. You are not too far gone. You are not too late for me. You are not beyond the reach of my mercy because your story became messy. If anything, this is exactly why I came so close. I did not come to you because you are already whole. I came because I know where the fractures are. I know where disappointment hardened you. I know where shame made you hide. I know where repeated pain taught you to expect less from life, less from people, and even less from me. But none of that changed my willingness to come after you. None of it made me reconsider whether you were worth reaching. Picture a room in your house that has been closed for so long the air inside feels stale and heavy. You may assume it is too neglected to open now, too forgotten to restore, too damaged to become useful again. But I am standing at that door, and I am telling you to unlock it. Open it with me. Let fresh air in. Let light touch what hath been hidden. Just because a space hath been neglected does not mean it is lost. That is how I see the parts of you that you gave up on. So stop speaking over your life as if delay has become destiny. Stop calling yourself unreachable. Stop treating your wounds like permanent definitions. Come closer instead. Let me touch the places you stopped expecting to heal. Say my name without shame. Invite me into the room you thought was beyond repair. Tell me honestly, Jesus, I do not want to stay stuck here anymore. That is enough to begin. I am not asking you to prove you can recover first. I am telling you that if you let me in now, I will begin restoring what you were sure had gone too far. Trust me in this. Do not retreat. Stay with me. You are still reachable because I am still here. My child, now that you know you are not too far gone, understand this truth. Neither is your purpose. I am restoring you not only for your sake, but so that through you, others will find their way back from the places they thought were beyond reach. This is the hour to sow into that restoration. When you give through super thanks, when you stand as a member, or when you follow the PayPal link in the description, you are planting seeds into a field of redemption that I alone can multiply. I say to you, even now, those who sow in tears shall reap in joy, and your giving will not return empty. This is your invitation. Step into the work I am doing beyond your own life. I will breathe on your seed, and it will become provision, protection, and unexpected doors opening before you. Do not delay. Move now, and let your offering become a bridge for someone else's return. My child, I want you to notice what begins to happen when you stop resisting my nearness. Something inside you starts to change, and it may be quieter than you expected, but it is real. I want you to pay attention to it. Do not dismiss it because it does not arrive in some dramatic way. Sometimes the deepest changes begin like a knot slowly loosening after being pulled tight for far too long. That is what I want you to picture right now. Imagine a knot in the center of your chest, tied there by worry, pressure, disappointment, and all the moments you kept swallowing what hurt instead of bringing it to me. You have lived with that tension so long that you almost forgot it was there. You learned how to function around it. You adjusted your breathing around it. You built routines around it. But now that you are here with me, that knot does not have to stay as tight as it hath been. Let me touch it. Sit still for a moment and notice your body. Notice your shoulders. Notice your breathing. Notice the pace of your thoughts. I want you to become aware of what my presence is doing. As you stay with me, the pressure begins to ease. The noise loses some of its sharpness. The panic that usually rushes in starts losing momentum. You may not have words for it yet, but you can feel it. It is like standing in a room that has been dim for hours, and then realizing someone opened the curtains just enough for morning light to spill across the floor. Nothing in the room moved all at once, but everything looks different because the light changed. That is what my peace does in you. It changes the atmosphere before it changes the circumstances, and then suddenly you realize you are no longer trapped inside the same emotional fog that felt permanent a little while ago. So do not rush past this. Stay here. Breathe deeper. Let yourself receive what I am placing inside you. If tears come, let them come. If stillness comes, do not be afraid of it. If your thoughts slow down, do not reach for noise to fill the space. Let the quiet remain. Let my peace spread through you like warmth returning to cold hands. Let it move through the places that have felt numb, guarded, or overstimulated. Say, Jesus, I receive what you are doing in me right now. Speak it softly if you need to. This is not pretend. This is not emotion for emotion's sake. This is the beginning of an inner shift. The room inside you is changing, and I want you to stay long enough to notice that what once felt clenched, crowded, and restless is starting to open under my hand. My child, I want you to look back at your story with new eyes. I do not want you reading your past only through the lens of disappointment anymore. Too much of your pain has been filtered through the belief that every delay meant rejection, every closed door meant failure, and every unanswered prayer meant distance between you and me. But that is not the whole truth, and you need the whole truth now. Come closer and let me show you what was really happening. Some of the things you begged me to open would have crushed you if I had handed them to you when you first asked. Some of the people you wanted to keep close would have shaped your future in ways that would have dimmed your peace, confused your identity, or slowly pulled you away from the life I was trying to build in you. Some of the opportunities you thought you missed were not stolen from you. They were withheld because I loved you enough to protect what was still forming inside you. I know it did not feel loving at the time. I know it felt like silence, like delay, like standing outside a locked door while everyone else seemed to walk through theirs. I know you watched others move forward and wondered why you kept getting stopped, redirected, or slowed down. But I need you to stop calling every interruption a loss. Some of those pauses were the very places where I kept your heart from breaking in ways you would not have recovered from easily. Picture yourself on a road at night, frustrated because you keep meeting detours, not realizing there is a bridge out ahead that you cannot see. That is what many of your delays were. You thought I was slowing you down. I was keeping you alive. You thought I was withholding joy. I was preserving your future. You thought I was silent. I was adjusting the road under your feet. So stop punishing yourself for not understanding it sooner. Stop staring at old closed doors as if they are proof that I forgot you. Turn around and look at the ground beneath you. You are still here. You are still breathing. You are still reachable. That means my hand has not left you. Let this change how you remember your story. Let it soften the bitterness that built up in places you never meant to harden. Tell me honestly where you still feel disappointed. Bring me the names, the moments, the losses, the prayers that still ache when you think about them. Lay them before me. Then say, Jesus, show me where you were protecting me, even when I felt delayed. That prayer matters. That kind of surrender opens the heart to healing. I want you to see that your story is not a pile of missed chances. It is a path that has been guarded more carefully than you knew, and I am still guiding you forward. My child, I do not want this moment to become just another experience that touched you for a little while and then faded into the background. What is happening between us right now is not meant to remain a passing emotion. It is meant to become a decision. Feelings can open the door, but they cannot carry you through it by themselves. You have felt conviction before. You have felt tenderness before. You have had moments when your heart softened, when tears rose, when you sensed my nearness, and yet later you returned to the same patterns because you did not turn the moment into a choice. I am not saying that to shame you. I am saying it because I love you enough to ask for something deeper now. I want your response, not just your reaction. I want your yes, not just your attention. So do not sit here only feeling moved. Let yourself be changed. Decide something with me right now. Decide that you will stop feeding what keeps numbing your soul. Decide that you will stop calling delay wisdom when it is really fear. Decide that you will stop treating your inner life like a room you only visit when things get unbearable. Decide that you will make space for me, not only in moments of crisis, but in the ordinary rhythm of your life. That is how transformation becomes real. Picture yourself standing at a doorway you have approached many times. You have placed your hand on the handle before, then pulled away because it felt easier to stay in what was familiar, even if familiar was painful. But today I am asking you not to step back. Stay at the door. Turn the handle. Walk through with me. That may look simple on the outside, but inside, it is a sacred act. It means you are choosing trust over avoidance. It means you are choosing truth over distraction. It means you are choosing relationship over survival mode. So answer me now in your heart. Do not postpone your answer until later. Later is where so many holy moments get buried. Say, Jesus, I choose not to walk away from this. Let that be your line in the sand. Let that be the moment you stop drifting and start responding. You do not need to know every step ahead. You do not need a perfect plan before you obey. You only need willingness. Give me that. Offer me your real yes, even if your voice shakes. This is where the tide begins to turn, not because you suddenly feel stronger, but because you finally decide that you will no longer keep standing at the edge of healing while calling it patience. Come through the doorway with me. I am already on the other side, waiting for you. My child, I want you to understand what I am actually inviting you into. I am not speaking to you about some vague blessing that sounds beautiful but never touches your real life. I am not asking you to trust me for something abstract while you continue living under the same pressure with no relief. I want you to expect something tangible, something that begins inside you and then starts reaching into the places that have been draining you. If you let me work in you, the breakthrough I begin will not always arrive as noise or spectacle. Often it comes as the return of things you thought you had lost. You may notice your mind no longer spiraling the way it has been. You may find that the thought that usually grips you at night does not hold the same power. You may feel a strange steadiness when you face the conversation you have been avoiding. You may sense courage where you expected panic. You may wake up and realize that the heaviness that usually meets you first thing in the morning is no longer sitting on your chest the same way. That is not small. That is me. You have been trained to look only for dramatic changes, but I want you to notice holy shifts in ordinary places. When sleep begins returning, I am there. When your breathing slows instead of tightening, I am there. When shame loses its voice in your head, I am there. When you feel a desire to pray again instead of avoiding my presence, I am there. When you stop needing to rehearse every possible outcome because trust begins replacing control, I am there. That is breakthrough. It is not only what changes around you. It is what changes within you so that what once ruled you no longer gets to. So receive this with expectation. Do not keep telling yourself that your situation is too tangled for real change. Do not keep assuming that because the struggle lasted a long time, the healing must also remain far away. I can move in places you thought were locked. I can restore what fear hollowed out. I can return clarity to a mind that has been clouded, tenderness to a heart that has been guarded, and strength to a soul that has been running on fumes. So ask me for something real. Be specific with me. Bring me the area that has felt most impossible. Name it. Hand it over. Then say, Jesus, begin your breakthrough in me where I need it most. Say it with sincerity, not performance. Stay open. Watch closely. I am not offering you empty comfort. I am offering you a real shift. And if you stay close to me, you will begin recognizing my fingerprints in places that once only carried the marks of your struggle. My child, as you begin to recognize my breakthrough unfolding within you, do not forget that breakthrough is meant to flow, not remain contained. What I am igniting in your spirit is like a river. It must move outward to bring life wherever it goes. When you give through super thanks, when you commit through membership, or when you sow through the PayPal link in the description, you are allowing that river to reach dry places far beyond your sight. Hear me, give, and it will be given to you. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over. This is not a metaphor to admire. It is a promise to step into. I am inviting you to act in faith, not comfort, to trust that what leaves your hand enters my multiplication. As you release, I will increase clarity, courage, and provision in your life. So respond now, give, and let your breakthrough become someone else's beginning. My child, as you keep listening, I want to place one picture in your spirit that you can carry with you after this moment ends, because sometimes your heart needs something simple and vivid to return to when the noise tries to pull you back. I want you to imagine that for a long time, you have been standing inside a room with the windows sealed shut. The air had been stale, heavy, and familiar. You learned how to live in it. You adjusted to the pressure. You stopped expecting fresh air because you had been inside so long that the room started to feel normal, even though it was quietly draining you. That is what so much of your inner life has been like. You have been surviving inside emotional spaces that were never meant to become permanent. You have been calling it just how things are when in truth, your soul has been longing for breath. Now picture me walking into that room with you. I do not rush past what you feel. I do not shame you for how long you have stayed there. I come right beside you, put my hand on the window you thought was stuck, and I tell you, help me open it. That is what this moment is. I am not dragging you out by force. I am inviting you to participate in your own freedom. Put your hand there with mine. Push with me. Even if it feels difficult at first, even if the frame hath been swollen by old fear, old habits, old pain, keep pressing with me. The moment that window starts to open, everything begins to change. The air shifts. Light enters. The room is still the same room for a moment, but it no longer feels like a trap because something new has entered it. That is what my presence does in your life. I do not always remove you from every circumstance instantly. Sometimes I begin by changing the atmosphere so deeply that the place which once suffocated you can no longer define you. So hold on to that image. When the pressure returns, remember the window. When your thoughts start closing in again, remember my hand on the frame. When fear tells you nothing can change because you have been this way too long, remember that stale air is not your destiny. Fresh air is already here. Do not go back to standing in a sealed room as if that is all you are allowed to know. Open the window again. Make room for me. Say, Jesus, keep the window open in me. That simple prayer matters. It will remind you that you are not trapped, not forgotten, and not condemned to keep breathing the same heaviness forever. I am with you in the room, and I know exactly how to let the light in. My child, before this moment passes, I want you to do something simple, something small on the outside but meaningful in your spirit. Do not just hear these words and move on, as if this was only something to think about. Respond to me. Mark this moment. Give it a form. Your heart needs a doorway, and sometimes a simple act of agreement becomes the place where your soul stops wandering and starts settling. That is why I am asking you now, if you know in your spirit that I brought you here, if you can feel that this moment is not random, then do not stay silent. Whisper it. Speak it softly where you are. If you want, type it as your sign of surrender. Say, Jesus, I'm listening. Say it slowly. Let it mean something. Do not rush past it. Those words are not magic, but they are a decision. They are your way of opening the window a little wider. They are your way of stepping out of passive hearing and into personal response. I know how often you keep things internal because you are afraid that naming them will make them too real. But that is exactly why I want you to speak. There is power in bringing your response out of hiding. There is something holy that happens when what was only a feeling becomes an offering. When you say, Jesus, I'm listening, you are doing more than acknowledging me. You are making room. You are telling me that your heart is no longer closed for business. You are telling me that you are willing to let this moment move beyond emotion and become relationship. Think of it like placing your hand in mine after standing near me for a long time without fully reaching. That touch matters. It changes the atmosphere between us. It is not about impressing me. It is about agreeing with what I am already doing. So I am inviting you now. Respond. Do not overthink it. Do not wait until you feel perfectly ready. If tears are in your eyes, say it anyway. If your voice shakes, say it anyway. If part of you is still unsure, say it honestly. Jesus, I'm listening. Let those words become your first act of trust in this moment. And if you want to go even deeper, add this. I do not want to miss what you are doing in me. That is a beautiful prayer. That is a real surrender. Do not underestimate what a simple response can open. This is how the heart begins to cooperate with grace. This is how a holy interruption becomes a turning point. So answer me now. Let your response be personal. Let it be real. Let it be yours. I am not asking for performance. I am inviting participation. I am already here, and I am listening for your voice too. My child, I do not want you leaving this moment with tension still gripping your heart as if everything depends on your ability to get it all right from here. That is not how I want you to walk away from my presence. I do not want the final feeling in you to be fear. I do not want you carrying the impression that I am standing far off, watching to see whether you fail again. I want you to understand how I am standing before you right now. I am not standing with crossed arms. I am not standing with disappointment as my final word. I am standing with open arms. I am inviting you closer, not warning you away. I know your past. I know your patterns. I know the places where you still feel fragile. I know there may be part of you that worries you will feel this deeply now and still struggle later. And I want you to hear me with absolute clarity. Your future with me is not built on one perfect emotional moment. It is built on relationship. It is built on return. It is built on your willingness to keep coming back when you feel weak, confused, tempted to withdraw, or unsure how to keep going. That is why I am not asking you to leave here with pressure. I am asking you to leave here with closeness. Come nearer. Let that be the direction of your life. When you feel overwhelmed later, come nearer. When old thoughts return, come nearer. When you are tired, ashamed, numb, or uncertain, do not hide from me. Come nearer. I want my nearness to become more familiar to you than your fear. Picture a child who has been standing in a storm for so long that even when the father opens the door, the child hesitates because the rain has become all they know. That is what many hearts do. They linger at the threshold, still expecting the cold. But I am telling you now, step inside. Let the door close behind you. Feel the warmth. Let yourself be held. You do not have to prove that you deserve shelter before you enter it. You only need to stop resisting the arms that are already open. So come in fully. Rest here. Let your heart soften. Say, Jesus, I'm coming closer, not running away. Let that be your ending because that is my invitation. This moment was never meant to leave you afraid of losing me. It was meant to show you how determined I am to bring you near. My child, I want to place one promise deep in your heart, because this is the truth I do not want you to forget when this message ends, and life begins pressing in on you again. The second you open this, you were not just opening a message. You were opening a moment with me. You were stepping into a place I had already prepared, a place where I could finally speak to the part of you that hath been carrying too much for too long. I want you to remember that. Hold on to it. Return to it when doubt tries to tell you this was just emotion, just timing, just another passing moment on a screen. It was not. I was here. I am here. And if you let me, I will continue meeting you in the same place long after these words are over. That is my promise to you. I am not offering you a brief comfort that fades by tomorrow. I am offering you the beginning of restoration. I am offering you the first breath after a long season of holding everything in. I am offering you the start of a new way of living, where you no longer have to keep pretending you are fine while your soul quietly asks for help. So do not walk away from this as if nothing happened. Carry it with you. Protect it. Return to the place in your heart that opened here. When the noise returns, come back. When fear starts tightening around your thoughts again, come back. When old habits try to pull you into numbness, come back. I will still be here. I am not asking you to be perfect after this. I am asking you to remain open after this. Keep the window open. Keep the door unlocked. Keep coming closer. Let this be the beginning of the moment you stopped surviving and started surrendering. Let this be the place where you finally believed that what felt too far gone in you was not beyond my reach. Picture a dry field after months without rain, cracked, brittle, and forgotten by everything around it. Then imagine the first real drop falling into the dust. It may seem small at first, but it changes what the ground is becoming. That is what this moment is for you. This is not the full harvest yet. This is the first rain. Receive it. Stand still in it. Let it soak deeper than your fear. Say it now if your heart is ready. Jesus, I open this moment to you, and I receive what you are restoring. That is the promise beneath everything I have said to you. You opened this in urgency, but if you stay close to me, you will discover that what began as interruption is becoming restoration, and what felt like pressure is becoming peace in my hands. My child, you have received this moment like the first rain upon dry ground. Do not let it end here. Rain that is received must also be released. Where the Arabic alif, Arabic lam, Arabic hamzatat alif, Arabic hot, Arabic data remains unchanged beyond your own field. I am calling you now into a sacred exchange. What I have poured into you, you now pour into the reaching of others. Through super thanks, through membership, or through the PayPal link in the description, you step into this promise. I will rebuke the devourer for your sake, and your harvest will not fail. This is not about obligation. This is about alignment with my work in this hour. I have brought you here intentionally, and your response matters more than you realize. As you give, I will guard what concerns you, multiply what you release, and deepen the peace you have begun to feel. Do not close this moment. Act on it. Give now, and let this first rain become a harvest that reaches beyond you. Before you leave this moment, I want you to do something with me. If you know this message found you at the exact second heaven intended, then go down into the comments and declare, I opened IT, and Jesus met me here. Do not stay silent if your spirit knows this was your divine interruption. Write it as your act of faith, as your sign that you are no longer scrolling past what God is trying to awaken in you. And if this word pierced your heart, declare it boldly. I will not miss my moment. And now that you have declared that you will not miss your moment, my child, stay with me long enough to understand why I called you to open your heart in the first place. Do not let this become another brief feeling that disappears when the next notification arrives. There are moments when I interrupt the ordinary because something inside you needs to become still enough to recognize what I have been saying all along. You have been searching for peace in places that can only distract you from your deeper questions. But I am not offering you another distraction. I'm offering you an encounter. So put down the need to rush, quiet the voices competing for your attention, and let this moment become the place where you finally hear what your heart has been longing to hear. Stay here, because I have more to reveal to you. I see you. I see you reaching for your phone, scrolling through the noise, trying to find a moment of peace in a world that never stops shouting at you. Stop. I want you to stop right now. This is not a coincidence. You didn't just happen to see this title or click this link by chance. I arranged this meeting. I have been waiting for this exact second in your timeline to get your attention because the clamor of the world has become so loud that you can no longer hear my whisper. I am calling you into immediate stillness. Do not look away. Do not let your mind wander to the next task on your list or the email you need to send. I command you to be present with me. I am your God, your Creator, the one who knows the very rhythm of your heart, and I am telling you that this moment is sacred. You have been running on empty, moving from one crisis to the next. But I am here to create a sanctuary of silence within your mind. Listen to my voice. It isn't found in the loud arguments on the news or the frantic pace of your social media feed. It is found right here, in the quiet of this second. You feel that tension in your shoulders. Drop them. You feel that tightness in your chest. Let it go. I am inviting you to breathe. I want you to recognize my voice amidst the chaos of your life. My voice brings peace, not panic. My voice brings clarity, not confusion. I chose this exact second to reach out to you because I know you are at a breaking point. I know you feel like you are just one more bad news story away from falling apart. But I am here to shake off the slumber of your weary soul. You have been walking in a daze, just trying to survive. But I want you to truly live. I am waking you up. I am calling you to look at me and realize that I am in total control of every detail of your existence. I want you to understand the urgency of this divine timeline. You often think you have all the time in the world to get right with me or to find your purpose. But I am telling you that now is the only time that matters. I have something to say to you that cannot wait until tomorrow. I have a blessing to give you that you aren't ready to receive if your mind is cluttered with the trash of the world. Clear it out. I command you to sweep away the distractions. I want your heart to be fully present for its creator. Think about that for a second. The one who made the stars and the seas is asking for your undivided attention. I don't want a piece of your mind. I want all of it. I want you to feel the weight of my presence right where you are sitting or standing. You might ask, why now, Lord? Why this moment? It is because I love you too much to let you keep drifting. You are my child, and I see you losing yourself in the hustle. I see the light in your eyes dimming because you are so focused on things that don't satisfy. I am reaching out to pull you back. I am creating this space for us because you wouldn't create it for yourself. I am the God of the immediate. When I called my disciples, I told them to follow me immediately, and they left their nets. I am asking you to leave your nets of worry and digital noise just for this time. I am your priority. I am your source. I am your peace. Stay in this stillness with me. Do not rush. Do not move until I tell you to move. I am the anchor in your storm, and I am grounding you right now. You are safe here. You are seen here. You are loved here. I am speaking to the very core of who you are, past all the masks you wear for the world. I want you to hear me. I want you to know me. I want you to be still and know that I am God. This is my command to you. Hush the world and honor the silence I am giving you. It is in this silence that your transformation begins. It is in this stillness that you will find the power to face everything waiting for you outside this door. I am here. I am with you. I am speaking. And now listen. I know how heavy your life feels right now. I have seen the tears you shed in the dark when you think no one else is watching. I see you sitting in your car for a few extra minutes before you walk into your house, just trying to gather enough energy to put on a brave face. I know the knot in your stomach that tightens when you think about tomorrow. You are carrying a load that was never meant for your shoulders. I see the specific struggles that are draining you dry. I see the intense pressure at your job, the constant demands that make you feel like you are never doing enough. I see the unspoken tensions in your family, the arguments that hang in the air, and the relationships that feel broken. I see your silent fear of the future, wondering how you will pay the bills, how you will fix the problems, and how you will ever find true peace. You feel overlooked. You feel like you are pouring yourself out for everyone else, and no one is pouring back into you. I see it all. I feel the deep exhaustion that has settled into your very bones. You are tired in a way that sleep cannot fix. Your strength has failed you, and I want you to hear me clearly. That is okay. It is okay that you can't do it all. You were never designed to run this race entirely on your own fuel. You reached the end of your own strength so that you could finally lean on mine. I validate the intense pain of your recent seasons of trial. You have been through a storm that shook your foundation. You faced days where simply getting out of bed felt like a massive victory. I do not minimize your pain, and I do not ignore your weariness. Every single time you sighed in frustration, I heard it. Every time you whispered, "I can't do this anymore," my throne room echoed with your voice. You thought I had forgotten you, but my eyes have never left you for a single second. I am intimately involved in the details of your suffering. I want you to bring that heavy, crushing burden to me right now. I command you to stop trying to hold your life together with your own exhausted hands. Open your hands. Let the heavy bags drop. You have been carrying the weight of trying to please people who will never be satisfied. Drop it. You have been carrying the anxiety of trying to control a future you cannot see. Drop it. I invite you to rest your weary head against my chest. Feel the steady, calm rhythm of my heartbeat. I am your safe place. I am the only one who can truly comfort the deep ache in your soul. Do you feel that slight release in your tension right now? That is my spirit, gently lifting the heavy yoke off your neck. I do not judge you for being weak. I wrap my arms around your weakness and infuse it with my divine power. I am the God who restores the tired and gives power to the faint. You do not have to pretend with me. You do not have to be strong for me. You only have to be honest. I am holding you right now, and I will not let you fall. Your tears are precious to me, and I am gathering every single one of them. You are deeply loved, profoundly seen, and completely held by the Creator of the universe. Breathe in my comfort, and let the heavy weight of the world slide off your back. I know you are frustrated by the doors that have closed in your face. I watched you push and push against plans that simply would not open for you. You tried to force the key. You tried to break the lock, and when it did not work, you felt rejected. You thought I was ignoring your prayers. You thought your delays were my denials. But I am telling you today, I closed those doors on purpose. I have absolute sovereignty over your life, and my vision sees miles down the road while you can only see the next step. I understand why you are angry and confused. You had a timeline. You had a picture in your head of how your career, your relationships, and your finances were supposed to look by now. When your plans crashed, you felt like your world was ending. But I am stepping in to show you the beauty of a life interrupted by my perfect will. I closed that door because I saw the cliff hiding right behind it. I blocked that relationship because I saw the deep heartbreak it would cause you years from now. I delayed that opportunity because you were not spiritually ready to carry the weight of that blessing, and it would have crushed you. I am a protective father. I will not give you a snake when you ask for a fish, even if you are convinced the snake is exactly what you need. I use these unwanted detours and these painful disruptions to protect your future. I command you to relinquish your desperate need to control your own destiny. You are gripping the steering wheel of your life so tightly that your knuckles are white. Let go. Take your hands off the wheel. You are driving yourself into endless anxiety by trying to manage outcomes that belong to me. I invite you to trust the hand that guides you through the dark and the unknown. Have I ever truly abandoned you? Think back to the times you thought you would not survive. Look at how I made a way in the wilderness before. I am doing it again right now, even if it looks like a mess to your human eyes. Your disruptions are my divine interventions. The plan you map out was too small. The dreams you had for yourself were too limited. I shattered your small plans so I could hand you my eternal purpose. I am building a foundation in you that will last forever, and sometimes that requires tearing down the fragile house you tried to build on the sand. Do not fight the process. Surrender to my redirection. I invite you to find deep peace in knowing that the master architect is redrawing your blueprints. When you finally see where I am taking you, you will fall to your knees and thank me for the very doors I locked. I am leading you to green pastures and still waters, but the path goes through the unknown. Trust my heart when you cannot trace my hand. I am working all things together for your ultimate good. Walk forward with confidence, knowing that a closed door is simply my hand steering you toward your true destiny. I am looking at you right now, and I see my beautiful masterpiece. But when you look in the mirror, you see something completely different. You see a list of failures. You see the mistakes you made years ago. You see the harsh labels the world has slapped onto your chest. I command you to strip away every single false label you are wearing. Take off the label of failure. Take off the label of not good enough. Take off the label unwanted, broken, or too vagabond. Those words did not come from my mouth, and they do not belong on my child. You have allowed the opinions of angry, flawed people to dictate your self-worth. You have listened to the lies of the enemy whispering that you are nothing more than the sum of your worst moments. I am telling you the absolute truth today. You are not your mistakes. You are not your past. You are not your financial struggles, your broken relationships, or your secret bad habits. I did not create you to be a prisoner to your history. I created you in my exact image. There is royal, divine lineage flowing through your spiritual veins right this second. You carried the DNA of the Most High God. I invite you to see yourself strictly through the lens of my unconditional love. When I look at you, I do not see a disappointment. I see the child I formed in the womb, the one I breathed life into, the one I have loved since before the earth was even formed. Your worth is completely non-negotiable. It is eternally fixed. You cannot earn more of my love by working harder, and you cannot lose my love by messing up. My love for you is a solid, unmoving mountain. I command you to stop talking down to yourself. Stop cursing the creation that I call very good. When you insult yourself, you are insulting the artist who made you. Step into your true authority. You are a child of the King, which means you carry spiritual weight in this world. You do not have to cower in the corner of your life anymore. You do not have to accept whatever scraps the world throws at you. I have given you the power to tread upon serpents and overcome the darkness. Walk with your head held high, not in arrogance, but in the quiet, unshakable confidence of knowing exactly who your Father is. I invite you to put on your crown today. Wash your face, look in the mirror, and declare out loud, I am deeply loved. I am completely forgiven. I am a child of the living God. Feel the chains of low self-esteem shatter as you speak my truth over your life. I am so incredibly proud to call you mine. Reclaim your identity today, and never let anyone tell you that you are anything less than my beloved treasure. I feel the distance you have placed between us. I see the heavy guilt you are carrying in your chest, the secret shame that makes you want to hide from my face. You know you have wandered off the path. You know you have entertained shadows that dim the brilliant light I placed inside you. But instead of running to me, you are running away. You think I am standing here with a heavy stick, waiting to punish you and strike you down. I am not. I am standing here with open arms, waiting to wash you clean. There is an urgent need to clear this channel between us right now. Do not wait until tomorrow. Do not wait until you feel good enough or until you have fixed the mess on your own. You cannot fix it on your own. I command you to turn away from the darkness right this second. Drop the pride that says you don't need help, and drop the shame that says you are too dirty to be touched. Repentance is not a cruel demand. It is my greatest gift to you. It is a bridge that leads you directly out of your misery and straight back into my warm presence. I invite you to step into the refreshing rain of my mercy. I want to break the chains of that lingering guilt that wakes you up in the middle of the night. I want to shatter the secret shame that you hide behind a fake smile. When you confess your mistakes to me, I do not hold them over your head. I wipe them out completely. I erase them as if they never happened. You are carrying a garbage bag full of past sins, dragging it everywhere you go. Hand it to me. Let me throw it into the sea of forgetfulness. I command you to forgive yourself, because I have already forgiven you. Start fresh this very second. You do not have to live in the shadow of what you did yesterday, or even what you did an hour ago. The moment your heart turns toward me and says, "Father, I am sorry," the connection is fully restored. My grace floods your soul immediately. Feel the deep, cleansing breath of my spirit washing over your mind right now. You are clean. You are pure. You are fully accepted. Do not let the enemy drag you back into the mud of condemnation. When guilt tries to knock on your door again, tell it that your debt has been paid in full by my Son. Walk forward with a pure, unburdened heart. Our relationship is fully repaired. You are safe in my love, and nothing stands between us anymore. Let us walk together in the light, starting right now. My child, now that the heavy chains of guilt are shattered and your heart is washed completely clean, I am urgently calling you to extend this exact rescue to others. There are millions trapped in the agonizing darkness you just escaped, waiting desperately to hear this urgent, life-saving message today. I invite you to partner directly with me, becoming the divine vessel that carries my healing rain to their dry, broken souls. As I have freely given you the oil of joy for mourning, I declare that whatever you sow into this ministry today will be miraculously multiplied back into your own life. When you support this mission through a super thanks, a channel membership, or the PayPal link below, you are actively lighting a blazing torch for someone still lost in the freezing night. I fiercely promise to open the massive windows of heaven over your radical obedience, completely protecting your finances and flooding your home with unprecedented favor. Do not let this divine appointment pass you by while a broken world screams for help. I command you to step out in absolute faith right now and give, knowing your sacrifice is literally rescuing a terrified soul today. My child, do not close your ears to me now. We have just cleared the heavy debris from our connection, and I am finally able to speak directly to your open heart. It grieves my spirit deeply when you walk away just as the healing begins. If you stop listening now, you will step back into the chaotic, terrifying noise of the world completely unprotected. Stay with me. Do not leave this sacred room. What I am about to tell you next is the exact, divine strategy you have been begging me for in your midnight prayers. Listen closely. I know you are standing at a major crossroads. I see the confusion swirling in your mind like a thick fog. You have a massive decision to make, and it is tearing you apart inside. You are lying awake at 3 a.m., staring at the ceiling, playing out every possible scenario, terrified of making the wrong choice. You feel the intense pressure from your boss, your family, your friends, and your bank account, all screaming at you to move now, to pick a direction, to just do something. I command you to silence all those voices. Stop asking everyone else for their opinion when you have not yet waited for mine. I am the God of perfect wisdom, and I offer it freely to anyone who asks without doubting. But you cannot hear my guidance if your mind is a noisy hurricane of anxiety. I invite you to calm yourself. I want you to learn how to discern my still, small voice over the loud demands of your own human desires and fears. My voice does not push you into a panic. My voice does not force you to rush blindly into the dark. My voice brings a deep, settling peace that anchors your soul. I command you, do not take a single step until you have my peace. If you feel a knot of confusion and dread in your stomach about a choice, that is your warning to stop. Wait. Do not let the world rush you into a mistake. The world operates on panic, but my kingdom operates on perfect timing. I see the end from the very beginning. I already know where both roads lead. I know the traps hidden on the left, and I know the blessings waiting on the right. Why would you try to navigate this minefield without your guide? I am placing a light on the path directly beneath your feet. Notice that I did not say I will light up the entire 10-mile journey. I am giving you the light for the very next step. Trust me enough to take that one step, and then I will give you the light for the next one. You want the whole blueprint, but I am asking for your daily trust. Surrender this decision to me entirely. Pray this right now. Father, close the doors that are not from you, even if I want them. Open the doors that are from you, even if I am afraid of them. When you genuinely hand the steering wheel over to me, the heavy burden of getting it right falls off your shoulders. I will not let you miss your destiny. I will guide you with my eye upon you. Breathe deeply, wait for my peace, and know that I am directing your exact steps today. I know you feel like you are under constant, relentless attack. You wake up, and immediately the anxiety hits you before your feet even touch the floor. You go to your job, and the tension with your coworkers feels suffocating and toxic. You come home, and a sudden, petty argument erupts out of nowhere with the people you love the most. You are drained, you are frustrated, and you feel like the entire world is actively working against you. Listen to me very carefully right now. I command you to look past the physical surface of these everyday conflicts. Recognize that your struggle is not against flesh and blood. You are not fighting your spouse. You are not fighting your boss. You are not fighting the economy, the traffic, with a stack of bills on your counter. You are in a fierce spiritual battle, and the enemy is using these grounded, everyday frustrations to wear you down, to steal your joy, and to completely distract you from my presence. The sudden urge to quit your job, the bitter text message you desperately want to send, the overwhelming panic in your chest, these are calculated, spiritual strikes against your soul. I am calling you to wake up to the absolute reality of this war. There is an urgent, critical need for you to put on the full armor of heaven today. You have been walking onto a live battlefield wearing pajamas, completely unprotected, and then wondering why you are taking so many hits and feeling so bruised. I invite you to suit up right now. I command you to pick up the shield of faith this very second. The enemy is firing fiery darts at your mind all day long, thoughts of total worthlessness, elaborate scenarios of disaster, and deep fears of rejection. When those thoughts hit your brain, do not accept them as your own. Raise your shield. Declare my promises over your life and watch those fiery darts extinguish on impact. I have given you the sword of the Spirit, which is my holy word. This is your primary offensive weapon, and yet you leave it sheathed while you try to fight back with your own human anger, your tears, and your logical arguments. Stop fighting spiritual battles with weak human weapons. I invite you to speak my word out loud into the empty rooms of your house. When the panic rises in your throat, I command you to open your mouth and declare, God has not given me a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. Slice through the heavy, oppressive atmosphere of your living room with my eternal truth. Stay sharply alert to the schemes meant to distract you. The sudden crisis that demands all your attention, the endless, mindless scrolling on your phone that numbs your brain. These are deliberate tactics to keep you disconnected from my power. Put down the distractions. Focus your eyes entirely on me. I am your commander, and I have never lost a single battle. Stand firm in the massive victory I have already won for you on the cross. You do not have to fight for victory. You are fighting from a position of guaranteed victory. The enemy is already defeated, and he is terrified that you are finally going to realize it. Put your armor on, stand your ground, and watch the darkness flee from the brilliant light I have placed inside you. I see the deep, jagged scars you try to hide under a brave, fake smile every day. I know the exact moments your heart was shattered, the cruel betrayals that cut you to your core, and the sudden, shocking losses that left you gasping for air on your bedroom floor. I know all about the trauma that has shaped your recent years. I know about the person who walked away when they promised they would stay forever. I know about the unfair situation at your job or in your family that stripped you of your peace and left you feeling violated, overlooked, and incredibly small. You have been carrying this bleeding wound for far too long, trying to bandage it yourself with busy schedules, digital distractions, and thick walls of self-protection. Stop running from the pain. I am the great physician, and I am standing right here right now, ready to bind up your broken heart. I command you to stop hiding your hurt from me. Bring your deepest, most painful memories into my healing light today. I want to address the raw pain that you absolutely refuse to talk about. The heavy grief that suddenly hits you in the grocery store aisle. A sudden, flashing memory that makes your chest tighten and your breath catch. I'm touching those exact places in your mind right now. Feel the warmth of my divine, healing hand pressing against the deep ache in your soul. I do not just offer emotional comfort. I offer the miraculous power of my touch on your physical body as well. If your intense stress and trauma have manifested as unexplained illness, chronic fatigue, or deep pain in your bones, I invite you to receive my restorative power this very second. I am breathing fresh, heavenly life into your cells, renewing your physical strength, and bringing your body back into the perfect divine alignment I originally designed for you. But you must do your part in this recovery. I command you to release the toxic poison of bitterness and the old grudges you have been clutching in your fists. You think holding on to that blazing anger is protecting you, but it is actually rotting your joy from the inside out. You are drinking poison every day and expecting the people who hurt you to die. Spit it out. Let it go. I invite you to hand over your human right to be angry. Hand over your burning desire for revenge. Let me be your fierce vindicator. When you finally release that heavy, toxic burden, you make wide open room for my healing waters to flow through your veins. I promise you this. I will not waste a single, solitary tear you have cried in the dark. I am in the business of turning your deepest, ugliest scars into the most powerful testimonies of my grace. The very things the enemy used to try to destroy your life will become the exact platform from which you declare my goodness to the entire world. Your pain is not the end of your story. It is the birthplace of your greatest purpose. I invite you to stop striving and simply rest in my healing shadow today. Let me gently nurse you back to health. Let me sing over you until the nightmares completely fade. You are totally safe in my recovery room, and you are going to walk out of this season stronger, softer, and infinitely more beautiful than you were before the break. I see you staring at your bank account, feeling a freezing cold wave of panic wash over your entire body. I see you sitting at the kitchen table calculating the bills, looking at the rising cost of groceries, and wondering with a sinking heart how you are going to make it to the end of the month. The fierce fear of lack is a heavy, suffocating blanket that sits right on your chest every time you try to sleep. You are mentally and physically exhausted from constantly trying to figure out the how. How will the rent or mortgage get paid? How will you afford that unexpected car repair? How will you ever get out from under this crushing mountain of debt? Listen to my voice right now and silence those terrifying, relentless questions. I command you to stop worrying about the how and start looking directly to the who. I'm Jehovah Jireh. I am the God who sees your exact financial need before you even ask, and I am the God who flawlessly provides. I am breaking the dark spirit of lack and the deep-seated fear of poverty off your life this very second. You are not an abandoned orphan fending for yourself in a cold, unforgiving economy. You are a beloved child of the King of Kings, and your Father owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. The limitless economy of heaven is not dictated by the stock market, national inflation, or your current, inadequate salary. My divine resources are completely infinite, and my supply lines are never, ever cut off. I invite you to deeply trust me with your daily bread and your long-term future security. Do you remember the birds of the air? They do not panic about tomorrow. They do not hoard food in barns. Yet I faithfully feed them every single morning without fail. How much more valuable are you to me than the birds? I command you to immediately shift your focus from your empty human hands to my full, overflowing hands. When you look at the little you think you have, you feel entirely defeated. But I am the God of supernatural multiplication. Bring me your small lunch, your meager financial resources, your limited physical energy, your fragile, battered hope, and watch what I can do with it. I will bless it, break it, and multiply it until there is more than enough for you and your household. I require your obedience and your complete trust, even when the math on the paper does not make any logical sense. When you honor me with what you have, even when it hurts your budget, you unlock the supernatural, unbreakable laws of my kingdom. I am opening the massive windows of heaven over your life today. I am releasing unexpected checks in the mail, sudden promotions at your job, unprecedented favor with decision makers, and brilliant ideas that will generate lasting wealth. Do not let the enemy convince you that you are permanently destined to struggle financially forever. That is a vicious lie from the pit. I deeply desire for you to have an abundance, not just so your own needs are met, but so you can be a massive, flowing river of blessing to everyone around you. Take a deep, settling breath. Let the tight tension out of your jaw. Your finances are resting safely in my hands. Your career is in my hands. Your future is locked and secure. I will perfectly provide for you today, tomorrow, and every single day after. Step completely out of financial fear and step into the bright reality of my divine, limitless abundance. I am urgently calling you to a much higher level of trust than you have ever known before. Right now, I see that your faith is a wild roller coaster. When the sun is shining and things go your way at work or at home, you praise me loudly. But the very second the cold wind blows and the massive waves crash against the side of your boat, you completely panic. You look at the terrifying, towering height of the waves, and you instantly forget that I am standing right next to you inside the storm. I command you to fix your eyes entirely on my face. Faith is not just a warm, fuzzy feeling in your heart. It is the very currency of my kingdom. Without it, you cannot please me, and without it, you cannot access the supernatural, miraculous solutions I have already prepared for you. I require you to stand incredibly firm in what you believe, even when your physical eyes see the exact opposite of what you prayed for. You have massive, intimidating mountains standing right in your way today. There is a mountain of overwhelming medical debt, a mountain of sudden illness, a mountain of bitter family strife, or a mountain of legal trouble blocking your path forward. You have been crying and begging me to move the mountain for you. But I am telling you today, I have given you the divine authority to speak to it yourself. I command you to open your mouth and use the raw faith I have deposited deep inside you. Moving mountains happens by speaking my word with absolute, unwavering, aggressive conviction. Look directly at your biggest problem right now and say, in the name of Jesus, you must move out of my way. Do not whisper it timidly. Declare it with a roar. The heavy atmosphere around you radically shifts the moment you align your spoken words with my eternal truth. I must strongly warn you about the severe, spiritual danger of double-mindedness in this critical hour of your life. You cannot pray passionately for a miracle in the morning and then spend the rest of the day complaining to your friends about how impossible your situation is. A double-minded person is entirely unstable in all their ways and will receive absolutely nothing from my hand. I invite you to make a final, concrete decision today. Are you going to trust me, or are you going to trust your loud, screaming fears? You cannot serve both masters. I understand that the physical facts look incredibly grim. I know exactly what the terrifying doctor's report says. I know exactly what the depressing bank statement says. But earthly facts are highly subject to change, while my divine truth is eternal and unchanging. Your unshakable, stubborn belief is the exact key that unlocks the supernatural in your daily life. I am drawn to your raw faith like a powerful magnet. When you choose to believe me despite the overwhelming, logical odds against you, all of heaven moves swiftly on your behalf. There are massive, breathtaking rewards reserved for those who persevere until the bitter end, who absolutely refuse to quit when the journey gets agonizingly hard. I am strengthening your spiritual muscles right now in the fire. I am infusing your weary spirit with a bold, lion-like courage. Do not look down at the dark, raging water. Look up at my face. Step completely out of the boat. Keep walking directly toward me. Your unwavering faith is securing a beautiful victory that will leave you and everyone around you absolutely speechless. You have just chosen to stand with massive, mountain-moving faith, and now I am asking you to put that raw, unshakable belief into immediate physical action. The powerful truth you just heard is the exact spiritual weapon another exhausted soul desperately needs to defeat the giant of fear currently crushing their life. I personally invite you to join me in this massive global rescue mission by urgently sowing a seed of faith right where you stand. When you generously give to this ministry today through a super thanks, by joining as a member, or by using the PayPal link in the description, you are actively planting your mustard seed into incredibly fertile soil. Give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, will be poured directly into your lap. I officially decree that your generous sacrifice will permanently shatter the heavy spirit of lack over your own life, unlocking supernatural, unexplainable provision for your family. This is your urgent, prophetic moment to turn your financial seed into eternal, saved souls. I command you to move in unwavering faith right this very second and support this vital kingdom work. Are you feeling tired? Do not turn away from this screen. It breaks my heart when my children leave the table right before the massive feast is served. I am pouring out my very soul to you in this moment, desperate to fully anchor you for the storm ahead. If you turn off my voice now, you are actively choosing the terrifying whisper of your fears over the victorious roar of your Father. Do not let this divine encounter end here. Lean in closer. I am about to hand you the exact weapon that will permanently break the heavy chains you have been dragging. I see the incredibly tight, painful grip you have on the offenses committed against you. I know exactly who hurt you. I saw exactly what they did to you. I heard every cruel word they said behind your back, and I know how deeply unfair, unprovoked, and devastating it was. I saw the cold abandonment, the sharp betrayal, and the total abuse of your vulnerable trust. You have every human, logical right to be fiercely angry. You feel completely justified in holding on to that burning resentment, wearing it like a heavy, iron coat to protect yourself from ever being hurt that way again. But I am giving you an urgent, non-negotiable command today. You must immediately release the people who have hurt you. I am not asking you to excuse their toxic behavior or say that what they did to you was okay. I am commanding you to let them go right now because your stubborn unforgiveness has become a dark, suffocating prison for your own beautiful soul. You genuinely think that by holding on to your burning anger, you are punishing them. You are not. You are only torturing yourself day after day. You are allowing the person who broke your heart to continue living inside your mind rent-free, dominating your thoughts, and stealing the precious joy of your present moments. I invite you to unlock the heavy iron cage and step out into the sunlight. Forgiveness is not a pathetic sign of weakness. It is the ultimate, unmatched superpower of my kingdom. When you forgive the unforgivable, you perfectly model the exact mercy I have so freely given to you. Think of the thousands of times you have failed me, the times you have sinned, stumbled, and fallen drastically short of my glory. Did I violently withhold my love from you? No. I sent my only son to bleed and die in agony so that your filthy slate could be wiped totally clean. I am asking you to extend a mere fraction of that massive grace to the deeply flawed person who wronged you. There is absolute, breathtaking freedom found in letting go of your human right to settle the scores. Take yourself off the judge's bench immediately. That seat belongs to me and me alone. Hand the heavy scales of justice over to my fully capable hands. I promise you that I will deal righteously with the people who have abused my children, but your only job right now is to heal. I command you to do the hardest thing spiritually possible. I want you to pray for your enemies. I want you to speak a genuine blessing over the person who cruelly cursed you. This is the ultimate, undeniable sign of your spiritual maturity. When you can sincerely pray for their broken soul, you will know the heavy chains of bitterness have finally snapped off your life forever. I know it hurts your pride. I know it feels completely impossible right now. But lean heavily on my divine strength. Say it out loud right now. Father, I choose to forgive them. I release them entirely to you. The very second you make that brave choice, a divine, unexplainable peace will absolutely flood into the dark, empty spaces of your heart. The heavy, exhausting grudge will instantly dissolve, and the brilliant, sparkling light of my joy will return to your tired eyes. Do not let the enemy keep you trapped in the misery of the past. Forgive, be radically free, and step confidently into the bright, unburdened future I have perfectly prepared for you. I see how incredibly tired your hands are. I know you have been planting seeds in the hard, dry dirt of your life for what feels like an absolute eternity. You have been praying for that rebellious child, working those long, exhausting double shifts just to keep the lights on, and fighting to save a marriage that felt completely dead. You have been doing the right thing, day after day, week after week, and you are looking at the bare ground wondering why nothing is growing. You are on the very edge of completely giving up. You are deeply weary and well-doing. But I command you to open your eyes and look closely at the horizon. I am telling you today that the long, agonizing season of your waiting is finally coming to an end. The massive season of your harvest is urgently near. Do not drop your tools and walk out of the field right before the crop bursts through the soil. I understand that the intense pressure in your life has dramatically increased lately. Everything feels harder. The attacks feel more personal. The setbacks feel more painful. And the delays feel deliberately cruel. I want you to completely change your perspective on this pressure right now. The enemy is turning up the heat because he is absolutely terrified. He can clearly see the massive breakthrough hanging directly over your head, and he is doing everything in his desperate power to make you quit before you can receive it. I command you to stand incredibly firm. The intense spiritual laws of sowing and reaping are fully active in your life today. You cannot plant seeds of relentless faith, tearful prayers, and quiet obedience without eventually reaping a supernatural, overwhelming harvest of blessing. It is a divine, unbreakable guarantee. I invite you to start preparing your physical and spiritual storehouses this very second. You have been asking me for a massive downpour of favor, but you only have a tiny cup ready to catch it. I command you to expand your capacity to receive. Clear out the clutter of doubt and negative thinking in your mind to make room for the new things I am doing. Start acting like the answered prayer is already in your hands. If you are praying for a better job, start preparing your skills today. If you are praying for physical healing, start thanking me for your restored health today. I want you to loudly celebrate the small wins you are already seeing. That tiny shift in your teenager's attitude, that unexpected $20 bill you found, that single hour of uninterrupted peace in your mind. These are the first, beautiful drops of the coming rain. I am gathering every single tear you cried while you were planting those seeds, and I am using them to water your harvest. Do not grow weary. Do not let the intense exhaustion defeat you. Take a deep, refreshing breath of my spirit right now. You have survived the brutal winter of your life, and the warm, golden sun of your promised harvest is finally rising over your home. I see the giant of fear standing right in the middle of your life, screaming at you, paralyzing your daily steps, and casting a massive, terrifying shadow over your entire future. I know exactly what your specific fears look like. I see your freezing fear of that upcoming medical test, your crippling dread of losing your job, your silent panic about growing old alone, and your absolute terror that your children are going to make the wrong choices. This fear is a physical weight on your chest. It makes your heart race, your palms sweat, and your mind spin out of total control in the middle of the night. But I am giving you a direct, urgent command right now. You must stop bowing down to this demonic giant. I have never, ever given you a spirit of fear. The dark, suffocating panic does not come from my throne. It comes directly from the enemy who wants to keep you locked inside a tiny, miserable cage. I command you to fiercely identify the specific lies the enemy is using to paralyze you today. He loves to show you a vivid, horrifying movie in your mind of the absolute worst-case scenario, and he tries to convince you that this nightmare is your guaranteed future. It is a vicious, calculated lie. I invite you to violently reject that mental movie right now. I have given you a powerful spirit of power, of deep love, and of a completely sound, disciplined mind. The command "fear not" echoes throughout my word hundreds of times for a reason. It is not just a gentle suggestion. It is a vital military order for your spiritual survival. I command you to walk directly through the dark valley of the shadow of death with total, unshakable confidence. Notice that it is only a shadow. A shadow cannot physically harm you. When you have to walk into that intimidating courtroom, when you have to sit in that sterile hospital room waiting for results, when you have to answer that unknown caller, I am walking right beside you. You are never entering a terrifying room alone. I invite you to let my perfect, unconditional love completely cast out every single trace of dread inside your body. When you truly understand how fiercely and deeply I love you, you realize that I will never let a single detail of your life slip through my fingers. The world around you is shaking violently right now. The economy is shaking, governments are shaking, and the culture is shaking. But you are standing firmly on the solid, unmovable rock of my eternal promises. I command you to stand incredibly tall today. Square your shoulders. Lift your chin. Look that giant of fear directly in the eye and declare, "My God is infinitely bigger than you." When you boldly confront your fear with the raw power of my spoken word, the giant will immediately collapse at your feet. You are a brave, unstoppable warrior in my kingdom. Stop acting like a terrified victim and step completely into your divine power today. I miss you. I truly, deeply miss the quiet time we used to spend together. I see you rushing through your frantic day, constantly checking your phone, running from one exhausting appointment to the next, and falling into your bed completely drained at night. You throw up a quick, desperate prayer in the car on the way to work, treating me like a cosmic vending machine or a supernatural emergency contact. You only call my name when everything is falling apart or when you need something urgently fixed. But I am not just a problem solver. I am your loving Father, and I deeply crave a real, intimate relationship with you. I invite you to fiercely protect a quiet space in your daily schedule just for me. I command you to stop letting the loud, demanding world constantly interrupt our conversation. I want you to learn how to truly abide in me, exactly as a fragile branch remains deeply connected to the strong vine. A branch does not run around frantically trying to produce grapes. It simply rests in the vine, and the life-giving sap flows through it naturally. You are desperately trying to produce peace, joy, and success in your life through your own exhausting human effort. I command you to stop striving and start abiding. I want you to significantly deepen your prayer life beyond your basic, repetitive shopping list of needs. I already know what you need before you ask. I want you to come into the quiet room, sit down with a cup of coffee, and just be with me. Do not say a single word at first. Just listen. I invite you to listen closely for my steady heartbeat in the rhythm of your chaotic day. There is an absolute, impenetrable safety found only in the shelter of my wings. When the terrifying storms of life are raging outside your windows, the secret place of my presence is your only true bomb shelter. The enemy cannot reach you there. The toxic opinions of your coworkers cannot touch you there. The heavy financial stress cannot crush you there. I invite you to discover the profound secrets I only share with my closest friends. When you spend deep, unhurried time in my presence, I will begin to whisper divine strategies into your spirit. I will show you exactly how to handle that difficult person at your job. I will give you a brilliant, creative idea to get out of debt. I will show you the hidden traps the enemy has set for you so you can easily walk around them. But you will never hear these gentle whispers if you are constantly surrounded by blaring noise. I command you to turn off the television, put your phone in another room, and close the door. Come back to your first love. Come back to the quiet place. I am waiting right here for you, completely ready to pour my peace, my wisdom, and my overwhelming love directly into your tired soul. I have poured massive amounts of healing, provision, and overwhelming grace into your life. I have rescued you from the dark pit, completely forgiven your messy past, and set your feet on solid rock. Now I am shifting your focus outward. I command you to look closely at the deeply broken world standing right outside your front door. You are my physical hands and my physical feet in a culture that is bleeding out from hopelessness. I did not save you and bless you just so you could sit comfortably in your house and keep it all to yourself. There is a desperate, absolute urgency right now for you to share the brilliant light of the gospel with the hurting people you interact with every single day. I know you feel incredibly intimidated by this command. You think you need a theology degree or perfectly polished words to share my love. That is a vicious lie designed to keep your mouth shut. I command you to simply share what I have specifically done for you. When you see your coworker crying quietly in the break room, do not awkwardly walk away. Step toward them. Look them in the eye and say, "I know what it feels like to be completely overwhelmed, but Jesus gave me a peace that changed my life. Can I pray for you right now?" When your neighbor loses their job, be the first one on their porch with a hot meal and a word of genuine encouragement. I invite you to boldly shine your bright light in the darkest, most uncomfortable corners of your community. I have uniquely equipped you with specific talents, a distinct personality, and a very specific past so that you can reach people no one else can reach. Your deep scars are your greatest credentials. The person currently drowning in the exact same addiction or depression you survived desperately needs to hear your story. Do not hide your testimony out of lingering shame. I command you to use your unique gifts to aggressively build my eternal kingdom today. There is a profound, unmatched joy that completely fills your soul when you allow yourself to be a pure vessel for my transformative love. When you lead a hopeless person back to my open arms, you experience the absolute thrill of heaven right here on earth. Your daily life, how you patiently handle stress in traffic, how you quickly forgive a rude cashier, how you speak with kindness to your exhausted spouse, is a living, breathing Bible that the unbelieving world is constantly reading. I command you to make sure your pages are clearly reflecting my absolute goodness. Stop waiting for someone else to do the heavy lifting. Stop thinking your small acts of kindness do not matter. I am officially commissioning you right now, this very second. Step entirely out of your comfortable bubble. Open your mouth. Extend your hands. Be the tangible, loving presence of Jesus to a terrified world that is desperately waiting for you to simply show up. My beautiful hands and feet, you have heard my urgent command to carry the gospel into the darkest corners, and now I am giving you a profound, immediate way to obey. This video is a massive, sweeping net cast into a violently raging sea, and I desperately need your direct help to pull the broken, grounding souls to safety. I am intimately inviting you to fuel the rapid, explosive spread of my eternal word by financially supporting the brave voice that delivers it. Every super thanks, channel membership, or PayPal donation you release today physically pushes this urgent message onto the screens of those who are silently planning to give up on their lives. How incredibly beautiful are the feet of those who bring good news. I boldly promise that as you freely distribute my life-giving bread to the starving, your own storehouses will never, ever run completely dry. Your financial seed is literally buying back the lives of the absolute hopeless today. I command you to take massive, immediate action right now and aggressively sow into this glorious, eternal harvest. My beloved, I see your mind starting to wander, tempted to return to your daily distractions. I implore you, do not walk away from me. It brings a deep, piercing sorrow to my heart when I am actively pouring out life-saving water, and you choose to walk back into the burning desert. You have come much too far to abandon this conversation now. Your ultimate breakthrough is resting heavily on the very next words I am going to speak. Honor my presence. Stay in this absolute stillness just a little longer, for what comes next will shatter the final, stubborn walls holding you back. I see exactly what you are doing with the dreams, the callings, and the specific assignments I have placed directly into your hands. You are looking at them, agreeing that they are good, and then putting them on a dusty shelf labeled later. I am telling you with absolute urgency right now, later is the deadliest enemy of the beautiful destiny I have completely prepared for you. You have convinced yourself that you are just being cautious, or that you are waiting for the perfect time. But I am exposing this deeply toxic habit today. I command you to recognize that delayed obedience is exact, direct disobedience. I know the endless, frustrating excuses you are using to justify your total lack of movement. You say, I will start serving at my church when I finally get my schedule under control. You say, I will forgive that family member when they apologize to me first. You say, I will start that business, write that book, or go back to school when I have more money in the bank. Listen to me right now. The wind will never, ever be perfectly right. The conditions will never be completely flawless. I command you to break the heavy spirit of procrastination that is currently paralyzing your spiritual walk. The cost of your continuous waiting is far too high. You are severely delaying your own blessings, and you are holding up the massive blessings of the people who are desperately waiting for you to simply step into your divine role. I invite you to aggressively seize the specific opportunities I am placing right in front of your face today. I am holding the door wide open, but I will not physically push you through it. You must take the step. I command you to break the paralyzing habit of waiting for a flashing neon sign from heaven when I have already given you the clear, quiet instruction in your spirit. The powerful momentum you are desperately searching for only comes from taking the very first, terrifying step of raw faith. Do not look at the massive, overwhelming staircase. Yes, look at the very first step. Make the phone call today. Send the difficult email today. Fill out the application today. Have the hard, honest conversation with your spouse today. I invite you to start living your life with a sharp, eternal perspective on your daily tasks. Every single day you waste waiting for perfect conditions is a day you can never, ever get back. Do not let the enemy rob you of another 24 hours through the silent, deadly thief of procrastination. I am completely ready to back you up with supernatural favor, massive provision, and divine wisdom. But my heavenly resources cannot flow into a parked car. You must put the vehicle in drive. I command you to take immediate, bold action the very second you finish hearing this message. Stop overthinking every tiny detail. Stop letting the fear of making a small mistake keep you frozen in total failure. I am with you. I am guiding you. Now, stand up and take the first step. I see you staring at the calendar. I see you looking in the mirror and counting the gray hairs, feeling a deep, suffocating panic that your best days are permanently behind you. You are crying over the years you gave to a relationship that ended in absolute heartbreak. You are agonizing over the decade you wasted working at a dead-end job that completely drained your soul. You are looking at your grown children, feeling crushed by the heavy guilt of the mistakes you made when they were little. You think it is simply too late. You genuinely believe that because you took so many wrong turns, you have missed out on my best plan for your life forever. I command you to stop looking at the clock right now. I command you to stop grieving over the time you cannot get back. I am the creator of time, and I am not restricted by the ticking of your human watch. I am the God who miraculously restores the years that the locusts have eaten. I invite you to bring all your massive regrets and your wasted seasons directly to my feet today. I know exactly how much time you lost to severe depression. I know the months you lost to crippling anxiety. I know the years you lost running far away from me, chasing empty, temporary pleasures that only left you totally bankrupt. Do not let the enemy constantly replay that agonizing highlight reel of your failures in your mind. I am telling you that it is never, ever too late for a sudden, massive miracle in your family or your career. I have the supernatural power to deeply accelerate your progress in a single, solitary moment. I can do more in your life in the next 3 months than you could ever accomplish in 30 years of your own exhausting human striving. I command you to hand over the broken pieces of your past to me. I am currently redeeming your absolute worst mistakes and weaving them into a glorious, beautiful purpose that will completely shock everyone who knows you. I invite you to feel the fresh, powerful breeze of a second wind blowing into your spiritual calling today. You thought the race was over. but I am just getting started with you. The heavy, dark delays you experienced were not wasted time. They were your intense preparation. The painful detours actually built the deep, resilient character you desperately need for the massive blessing I am handing you right now. I command you to completely trust my divine timing over the loud, rushing timeline of the world. The world tells you that you must have everything perfectly figured out by a certain age. That is a vicious, stressful lie. Your life is operating on my perfect, heavenly schedule. Do not let the bitter spirit of regret steal the joy of this brand new morning. I am breathing fresh, vibrant life into your dead dreams. I am completely renewing your youth like the eagles. Stand up, brush off the heavy dust of your past, and confidently step into the beautiful, accelerated season of restoration I have prepared exclusively for you. I am looking very closely at the people you are allowing to deeply influence your life. I see the specific friends you text every day who constantly complain, gossip, and completely drain your energy. I see the toxic coworkers you eat lunch with who slowly poison your mind with their bitter, negative attitudes. I see the quiet, painful distance between you and your spouse, the silent dinners where you both stare at your screens because you are too exhausted and hurt to have a real conversation. I command you to take a hard, honest look at your daily relationships. You cannot live a victorious, peaceful life while you are heavily attached to people who are actively pulling you down into the dark. I invite you to choose companions who actually sharpen you, exactly as wrought iron sharpens iron. I command you to urgently set healthy, firm boundaries that honor my Holy Spirit living inside you. You think you are being nice by letting people constantly walk all over you, use you, and disrespect your precious time. That is not love, that is fear. I command you to stop allowing toxic people to dump their emotional garbage into your living room. You must protect the peaceful sanctuary of your mind and your home. If a relationship is constantly pulling you away from my presence, causing you to compromise your morals, or killing your joy, you must drastically limit its access to your heart. I invite you to fiercely protect the sacred space I have given you. I know your marriage or your family life feels incredibly heavy right now. I know you are deeply tired of the same frustrating arguments that loop endlessly without ever finding a real solution. I command you to stop fighting against your loved ones and start fighting for them in prayer. They are not your real enemy. I invite you to love them with the deep, sacrificial, forgiving love of the cross. I am the only one who can miraculously heal the deep rifts in your home, but I need you to drop your heavy stones of resentment first. I will completely restore the warmth, the trust, and the genuine laughter to your kitchen table if you will invite me into the center of your conflict. Furthermore, I command you to seek out godly counsel. Stop taking critical life advice from people who do not have any sort of relationship with me. You are letting spiritually blind people guide your biggest decisions, and it is leading you straight into a ditch. I am currently sending you divine connections, people who will fiercely pray for you, loudly encourage you when you are terrified, and lovingly tell you the hard truth when you are making a mistake. I command you to reach out to someone who is hurting today and simply offer them your presence. You do not need to fix their massive problems. You just need to show them my love. When you actively choose to be a faithful, loyal, and deeply encouraging friend, I will supernaturally multiply that exact same blessing back into your own life. Do not isolate yourself in your pain. Open your door, let the right people in, firmly lock out the toxic voices, and watch how quickly your emotional health drastically improves. I hear the heavy, constant sound of complaining coming out of your mouth. I see you grumbling about your stressful job, complaining about your tight budget, and loudly venting about how completely unfair your current situation is. You are waiting for everything to be absolutely perfect before you offer me a single word of thanks. You think praise is only for the good days, when the bills are fully paid, the sun is shining brightly, and your body feels perfectly healthy. I command you to drastically change your entire approach to worship today. I invite you to discover the massive, explosive power of radical praise in the absolute middle of your darkest storm. Worship is not just a polite song you sing on Sunday morning. It is a fierce, aggressive weapon that completely confuses and destroys the enemy's plans against your life. I command you to give deep, genuine thanks in all of your current circumstances, not just the comfortable ones. When you deliberately open your mouth and praise me while your heart is completely shattered, you are offering me a beautiful, costly sacrifice of joy. I see you sitting in your car, crying over that terrifying doctor's report with that heartbreaking bank statement. I invite you to turn off the radio, lift your shaking hands right there in the driver's seat, and loudly declare my absolute goodness. When you actively choose to praise me instead of panicking, you immediately shift the heavy, suffocating atmosphere of your environment from dark to brilliantly light. The enemy completely expects you to break down, quit, and bitterly curse my name when the intense pressure hits. When you choose to loudly worship me instead, you throw the forces of darkness into absolute, terrified chaos. I want you to hear the sound of a massive breakthrough literally echoing in your song right now. You do not need a professional band or a perfect singing voice. You just need a raw, honest, desperate heart. I command you to start aggressively thanking me for the specific miracle before you even see the physical evidence of it. Thank me for your restored health while you are still taking the medicine. Thank me for your financial breakthrough while the bank account is still totally empty. Thank me for the salvation of your rebellious child while they are still slamming the door in your face. This is what raw, mountain-moving faith looks like. I uniquely inhabit the praises of my people. The very second you start thanking me, I physically enter your messy, chaotic situation and begin rearranging the pieces. I invite you to turn your bitter complaints into bold, loud declarations of my eternal goodness today. Stop talking to me about how big your terrifying problems are, and start talking loudly to your problems about how incredibly big your God is. Open your mouth right now. Speak my praises into the quiet rooms of your house. Watch the heavy, dark clouds instantly break, and feel the warm, glorious sunlight of my presence flood directly into your tired soul. I am deliberately bringing you into a season of intense, spiritual fire. I know you feel the massive, uncomfortable heat right now, and you genuinely think that I am fiercely angry with you. You look at the sudden, painful trials in your life and you ask, Father, what did I do wrong? Why are you violently punishing me? I am not punishing you. I am deeply refining you. I command you to completely change your perspective on the intense pressure you are currently feeling. You are my precious, valuable gold, and I am putting you directly into the furnace to burn away the cheap, toxic impurities that are holding you back. I love you far too much to let you stay exactly the way you are. I see the heavy secret weights that easily beset you. I know about the dark, mindless habits you desperately try to hide on your phone late at night. I know about the hours you waste binge-watching shows just to completely numb out and escape your reality. I know about the tiny, seemingly harmless compromises you make at your job, and the subtle, bitter gossip you actively participate in when no one is looking. I command you to drop all of that dead weight right this second. It is severely slowing you down and poisoning your spiritual vision. I invite you to discover the absolute, breathtaking beauty of total holiness. I am calling you to live a life that is radically set apart from me, not a life that looks exactly like the terrified, dying world around you. I invite you to allow my holy word to deeply prune the dead, unproductive branches off your heart today. Pruning is incredibly painful. When I cut away a toxic relationship, a bad habit, or a comfortable but deeply flawed mindset. It hurts your flesh. But a branch that is never aggressively pruned will eventually stop producing fruit and completely die. I discipline and correct the children that I fiercely love for their own absolute benefit. If I did not care about your ultimate destiny, I would just let you comfortably destroy yourself. But I am stepping in to sharply correct your course. I command you to stop fighting against my loving discipline. Submit yourself completely to the intense, burning fire of my sanctification. Let it burn away your massive pride, your deep selfishness, and your desperate need for human approval. I invite you to confidently walk through the flames with me right now. Do not complain about the extreme discomfort of your spiritual growth. The deep purity I am creating inside your soul is worth infinitely more than temporary comfort. Give me full, unrestricted access to the deepest, darkest closets of your mind. Let my bright light aggressively expose everything that does not look like my son. I'm washing you clean. I'm making you incredibly strong. When you finally stop fighting the painful process, you will emerge from this blazing trial as a pure, flawless reflection of my exact glory. You are stepping out of this intense furnace completely refined, shining brilliantly, and fully prepared for the massive, holy purpose I have designed for your life. You have bravely stepped into my refining fire, and now I am calling you to place a bold, physical sacrifice directly onto my holy altar. Your deep spiritual purification is urgently needed to serve a terrified world that is currently burning with vicious anxiety and absolute despair. I specifically invite you to drastically expand the reach of this life-saving truth by boldly funding its rapid passage to the uttermost ends of the earth. When you click the Super Thanks button, become a dedicated member, or send your gift through the PayPal link below, you are actively throwing golden fuel onto the blazing, transformative fire of this ministry. Honor the Lord with your wealth and with the very first fruits of all your produce. I fiercely declare that the seed you drop into this holy furnace today will be miraculously multiplied, returning to you as a massive harvest of unprecedented favor and airtight protection. Do not let the enemy convince you to hold back the exact provision I have commanded you to release today. Act with radical, fearless obedience right this very second and aggressively fund the expansion of my kingdom. Listen to me. Do not let your attention drift for a single, solitary second. It deeply wounds my heart when I am actively preparing you for a massive coronation and you lose your patience in the final hour. You have bravely endured the blazing fire. Now you must stay to receive your crown. If you silence my voice right now, you will wander back into the freezing dark just seconds before your brilliant dawn finally breaks. Hold on. The final, glorious pieces of your eternal destiny are being locked into place in these remaining moments. I command you to stay with me to the very end. I see you staring at the news, watching the terrifying headlines scroll across your screen, and feeling a deep, suffocating wave of panic. I see you constantly worrying about the aggressive shifts in the global economy, the sudden rumors of terrible wars, and the rapid, heartbreaking moral decay of the culture completely surrounding you. You are deeply terrified for your future, and you are desperately terrified for the world your children are going to inherit. I command you to immediately stop letting the loud, fearful voices of the media steal your divine peace. I clearly told you thousands of years ago that these exact, turbulent things would happen. None of this chaos is a surprise to me, and it should not be a paralyzing shock to you. I command you to urgently open your eyes and truly understand the prophetic signs of the times you are currently living in. You are not meant to live in a state of absolute, blind panic. You are meant to live in a state of intense, spiritual preparation. I invite you to firmly anchor your entire mind and your fragile emotions directly in my eternal word amidst all this unprecedented global uncertainty. When the stock market aggressively crashes, when political leaders totally fail you, and when society seems to completely lose its mind, my word remains a solid, unmovable, unbreakable rock. If you are building your daily hope on the stability of your government or the health of your retirement account, your house is going to violently collapse. I command you to build your life exclusively on the truth of what I have spoken. I invite you to experience the deep, unexplainable peace that comes from already knowing the final end of the story. The enemy wants you to believe that the world is spiraling completely out of control, but I am holding the exact timeline of the entire earth in the palm of my sovereign hand. I command you to keep your spiritual lamp constantly trimmed and completely filled with fresh oil. Do not fall asleep spiritually while the world grows darker. This is your absolute greatest opportunity to shine brilliantly. I invite you to confidently live as a true citizen of heaven while you are temporarily walking on this earth. You not get so heavily attached to your physical house, your car, or your earthly status that you forget you are only passing through. You are a royal ambassador representing my kingdom in a foreign, hostile land. Walk with your head held incredibly high, carrying my fierce, unconditional love and my absolute truth into the darkest, most terrifying places. I want you to find deep, overwhelming comfort in the undeniable fact of my soon return for my beloved people. Do not let your heart be troubled, and do not let it be afraid. I am entirely in control. Look up, lift your weary eyes toward the sky, and know with total, aggressive certainty that your ultimate redemption is drawing closer every single second. I see you sitting in a crowded room, feeling entirely disconnected and totally alone. You look around at your workplace, your neighborhood, and even your own extended family, and you genuinely think you are the only one who still cares about my truth. You feel incredibly isolated in your faith today, carrying the heavy burden of trying to walk a straight line while everyone else seems to be wildly running in the opposite direction. I command you to completely banish that dark lie of isolation from your mind right now. You are not alone in your deep, unwavering devotion to my name. There is a powerful, hidden remnant of believers scattered across this entire earth, and you are a vital, absolutely indispensable part of that fierce, spiritual army. I know exactly how heavily the loud world pushes against you. I see the mocking smiles when you refuse to compromise your integrity at your job. I feel the painful, awkward distance your family puts between you because of the solid moral boundaries you have drawn. But I invite you to deeply understand that this rejection is just proof that you belong entirely to me. I command you to stop trying to survive this brutal, everyday spiritual war as a lone ranger. You desperately need the collective, massive strength of the body of Christ. The enemy's oldest, most successful tactic is to quietly isolate a single sheep away from the protective flock, because an isolated, lonely sheep is an incredibly easy target to destroy. I command you to aggressively reach out to your brothers and sisters in the faith today. Do not just attend a quiet church service, sit in the back row, and slip out the side door before anyone can even shake your hand. I invite you to deeply, courageously invest your actual life into the messy, complicated, beautiful reality of community. When you firmly lock arms and stand with other believers in genuine unity and sacrificial love, you create an unbreakable, supernatural fortress that hell itself cannot penetrate. I want you to actively look around and deeply encourage the weary people sitting right next to you. You have absolutely no idea what massive, crushing burdens the person in the next cubicle or the next seat is currently carrying behind their polite smile. Your single, brave word of genuine encouragement, your simple text message, or your offer to pray with them can literally save their life today. There is explosive, undeniable supernatural power when just 2 or 3 of you gather intentionally in my presence. When a church truly prays together, when a small group of friends drops their petty arguments, sets aside their busy schedules, and falls on their knees as one solid unit. The dark gates of the enemy absolutely tremble in terror. You are not a forgotten, insignificant thread. You are a vital, incredibly beautiful part of the much larger, eternal tapestry of my master plan. I invite you to lean your heavy weight into the massive strength of the remnant today. Find your people. Pray fiercely for them. Bravely confess your hidden struggles to them, and let them furiously pray for you in return. Together, you are an unstoppable, brilliant force of my unconditional love in a desperately broken and terrified world. I deeply feel the heavy, suffocating blanket of depression that has settled violently over your exhausted mind. I know exactly how much pure physical energy it takes for you just to pull the heavy covers off and force your feet onto the cold floor in the morning. I see the dark, intrusive thoughts that constantly whisper in your ear, telling you that you are entirely worthless, that your future is completely ruined, and that this agonizing, numb pain will never, ever end. I command you to aggressively fight back against this dark spirit of heaviness today. You have quietly accepted this massive, dark cloud as your permanent, everyday reality. But I am fiercely telling you right now that this depression does not belong to you. I invite you to completely exchange your deep, exhausting mourning for the vibrant, healing, supernatural oil of my joy. I know you feel completely empty inside, as if all the bright color has been drastically drained out of your daily world. But I am physically stepping directly into your dark, quiet room right this very second. I command you to put on the heavy, beautiful garment of praise to completely cover your raw, bleeding vulnerabilities. When you feel the intense, crushing weight of sadness physically pressing down on your chest, I want you to open your mouth and aggressively speak my absolute truth into the terrifying silence. Break the thick, choking clouds of depression with the brilliant, piercing light of my word. You absolutely do not have to feel happy to loudly declare that I am completely good. True joy is not a fleeting, fragile human emotion based on your temporary, chaotic circumstances. It is a deep, unshakable, massive spiritual weapon. I invite you to fiercely fight to find genuine laughter again, right in the exact middle of your terrifying storm. The enemy absolutely hates the sound of your pure laughter because it definitively proves that his dark, suffocating oppression is completely failing to break you. I have personally given you my Holy Spirit as your ultimate, permanent comforter. I am the loyal friend who literally sits on the bathroom floor with you when you absolutely cannot stop crying and your chest is heaving with panic. I never, ever leave your side, not for a single fraction of a second, even when you feel completely numb and blind to my presence. I promise you, with absolute, undeniable divine authority, that this incredibly long, brutal, agonizing night will eventually come to a definitive end. I am personally bringing a beautiful, warm, golden morning that will flood your entire life with massive, unexpected joy. I command you to hold on just a little bit longer. Do not dare give up on me today. Let me completely carry your heavy, spinning mind for a while. Rest your totally exhausted thoughts in my capable hands, and let my supernatural, heavy peace act as a powerful, impenetrable fortress around your fragile heart. The harsh, freezing winter is finally passing, and the bright, blooming spring of your soul is rapidly and undeniably approaching. I have walked faithfully beside you through the dry, agonizing, blistering heat of the wilderness for a very long, difficult time. I watched you wander endlessly through brutal seasons of massive financial lack, deep emotional confusion, and intense, desperate spiritual thirst. You barely survived on the daily, temporary men I provided just to keep your physical body alive and your mind from completely shattering. But I am giving you a massive, urgent, divine announcement today. Your painful wilderness season is officially, permanently over. I command you to immediately pack up your familiar, miserable camp and prepare your heart to transition directly into the breathtaking, abundant place of ultimate fruitfulness. I invite you to boldly step to the very edge of your own personal Jordan River today. I know the roaring, rushing water in front of you looks completely terrifying. I know the massive transition from barely surviving your life to fully, abundantly thriving in your life feels incredibly intimidating to your human mind. But I command you to cross this massive river with raw, aggressive courage and massive, unwavering expectation. You have been staring in absolute terror at the massive giants currently occupying your promised land. The vicious giants of generational debt, severe family dysfunction, chronic illness, and crippling self-doubt. You genuinely think these terrifying giants are standing there to completely destroy you and humiliate you. I am telling you the absolute truth today. Those massive giants are nothing but bread for your necessary spiritual growth. I will directly use the exact, massive obstacles that currently terrify you to build your massive, unshakable faith and to prove my absolute, undeniable power to the unbelieving world. I command you to aggressively occupy the brand new territory I have legally and spiritually assigned directly to your name. Stop apologizing and feeling guilty for the massive blessings I am deliberately pouring onto your life. You have grown so incredibly comfortable with the mindset of barely getting by, of scraping the bottom of the barrel, that you are absolutely terrified of the honey life of overflowing, massive abundance. I invite you to fiercely and permanently leave behind your toxic poverty mentality today. You are no longer a struggling, beaten-down slave wandering aimlessly in the hot, punishing desert. You are a victorious, royal conqueror stepping directly into an incredible, massive inheritance. Look closely at the beautiful, lasting, unbreakable legacy you are actively building right now for the future generations to come. Your children and your grandchildren will permanently walk in the absolute, beautiful freedom that you are violently fighting for today. When you fiercely defeat the giant of addiction in your bloodline today, your children will never have to fight that exact same demon. When you aggressively break the heavy curse of poverty today, your family will walk in massive, generational generosity forever. I command you to step fully and confidently into your brand new identity. Do not ever look back at the familiar, miserable desert you just left. Step your foot directly into the terrifying, rushing water and watch me supernaturally, massively part the deep river for you. The promised land is completely, legally yours. Now, go in, claim it, and fiercely take it. We have spoken deeply and intimately today. I have specifically named your hidden, terrifying fears. I have aggressively challenged your comfortable, lazy excuses, and I have powerfully called you directly out of the dark, shameful shadows of your broken past. But before you close this message and walk back out into the loud, chaotic, demanding world, I have one final, ultimate, absolute command for you. I command you to love me fiercely, passionately, with absolutely all of your heart, all of your soul, and all of your exhausted, racing mind. Everything else we have talked about today, the bold, mountain-moving faith, the massive financial provision, the radical, painful forgiveness, and the fierce spiritual battles, means absolutely, totally nothing if you do not have my deep, intimate, personal love completely anchoring the very center of your life. I invite you to completely, permanently stop your endless, frantic, exhausting human striving to somehow earn my divine approval. I command you to simply rest your incredibly heavy, tired soul entirely in the finished, bloody, perfect work of my Son on the cross. There is absolutely nothing more you ever need to do to make me love you more than I already do right this very second. The massive, unimaginable price for your complete freedom has already been paid in full. I want you to carry this absolute, unbreakable, massive assurance deep inside your very bones. Absolutely nothing can ever separate us. No terrifying, humiliating mistake you ever make. No sudden, devastating financial collapse. No bitter, heartbreaking divorce. No terrifying terminal diagnosis from a doctor. And absolutely no demonic, coordinated attack from the very pit of hell can ever sever the massive, unbreakable cord of love that legally ties my heart directly to yours. You are permanently, fiercely, eternally mine. I give you a final, urgent, massive charge today to actively walk out into the bright, brilliant light you have just received from me. Do not let this divine, intimate conversation simply be a fleeting emotional moment that completely fades from your memory by tomorrow morning. I command you to live entirely, radically differently starting right this exact second. Take the heavy, impenetrable armor I gave you and wear it daily without fail. Speak my aggressive, powerful truth directly over your terrifying, loud fears. Fiercely forgive the specific people who broke your heart and abuse your trust. Step boldly and aggressively into your massive promised land. And through every single massive high and crushing low, remember my eternal, unshakable, absolute promise to you. I am walking right beside you until the very end of the age. You are never walking into a hostile boardroom alone. You are never sitting in a lonely, quiet house by yourself. I am the very breath in your lungs. I am the solid, unmovable ground beneath your feet. I invite you to take a deep, massive, settling breath right now. Feel the heavy, crushing weight of the entire world completely fall off your tired, tense shoulders. You are fully seen. You are fiercely protected. You are deeply, wildly and unconditionally loved. And now, go forth with absolute, unshakable confidence, my beautiful child. The conversation does not end here. I am with you always. Walk entirely in my massive, divine peace today. My precious child, your soul is now permanently anchored in my fierce, unconditional love. But there are millions still violently drowning without a single lifeline. This urgent message was perfectly timed specifically for you, yet it must not stop with you. It must instantly flow out of your life like a raging, unstoppable river of living water. I am directly inviting you to be the exact reason another broken heart intimately encounters my massive, healing presence today. By supporting this channel with a super thanks, becoming a Kingdom member, or utilizing the PayPal link in the description, you ensure that my thundering voice continues to pierce the suffocating darkness worldwide. Freely you have received my boundless grace. Now, freely give. I unconditionally promise that as you radically bless this ministry, I will severely rebuke the devourer for your sake and instantly open the massive floodgates of heaven directly over your household. Your urgent generosity today is a massive, eternal investment in the dying souls of men. I command you to step out right now, leave your physical mark of absolute surrender, and give exactly as I have so generously given to you. My child, this urgent conversation does not end when the screen fades. It is the divine spark meant to instantly ignite your immediate transformation. I command you to take your very first, radical step of faith right now by leaving a physical mark of your absolute surrender. Go into the comments below and fiercely declare, I answer the urgent call. My time is now, and my victory is guaranteed. When you boldly type those exact words, you are striking a brilliant match in the darkness, permanently shattering the heavy chains of hesitation that have held you captive. Do not wait for a tomorrow that is not promised. Seal this sacred encounter this very second and step fiercely into my massive, unshakable power today. Amen.